Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Wherever you go, you can listen to the news. You can swing with the blues on this wonderful, wonderful station. Just take a lively companion wherever you go. Take a portable radio. Take a portable radio.
comes the music.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's a Tuesday night right here. It's our pre-Thanksgiving show in Studio C, as we do each and every year. Tonight, joining us is the one and only Doug Wilkie, sitting in place of Kat Carlson.
Hey there.
Marnie Ryer is on time and late as usual, but we did receive a text, so she's not MIA. We know she's en route. Also, Al Perkins rounds out our cast, sitting here next to me as he does each and every Tuesday. Hi, everybody in the chat room, Joe D and Jenny. I think my cousin Mike is watching or listening. I think he's watching because he made a comment that I thought was loaded. I thought it was a loaded comment about my weight, but he apparently hasn't seen me in a few months, I guess. Maybe that's the deal. But anywho, we have the house smells great. We have a turkey going.
It does.
We have Hawaiian rolls. It's a lovely
cornbread, stuffing.
It's a lovely feeling to have
Nice.
cooking going on in the house because I don't do it.
Some kind of mixed corn.
Oh my god!
And
then
I
when-
seriously felt like someone's grandmother today making that turkey and everything because I was watching.
daytime TV.
Well, I got rehooked on Game of Thrones, which is just a huge mistake.
Okay.
I was doing it because I couldn't sleep.
All right.
So I was like, oh, I've already seen this, and, I'll get caught
It
up because
helps.
it comes back in, like, April, and I'm like, so I don't really give a shit if I fell asleep. Well, this time through, I actually understand what they're talking about. So the first season was so much better the second time. I'm like, oh, well, I know who that person is. Because the first time I watched it, I'm like, well, who the fuck is that guy? And they all seem to have the same name. And I was like, I didn't know who people were till like 9 episodes in. I'd be like,
So how did
wait, who was that?
So how did you get caught up on who people were then? How did you understand?
Because I watched the whole show, but it was like around season 3 that I was like, oh, that's this one. That's
Oh,
and that
okay.
would go, like,
You could just focus in a different way.
yeah, and you have to do like there's a wiki for everything. So there's
Right,
a wiki
right.
page for Game of Thrones. So I would be like, all right, who the fuck is this turd walking through? And then I would like read the recap and be like, oh, and then decide I didn't care. And then like 2 seasons later, I'm like, ooh, that character's kind of fun.
Oh, okay. So now that you understand backstories and stuff, I get it.
Right, so
it's
now-
just like re-listening to a song or a show.
Right,
or watch,
right.
Yeah, you find okay.
Okay.
Now that you know the whole story, go back and understand it.
So about like 11:30, I'm like drinking coffee, and I'm like, well, it was stupid to sit here and like watch the end of this episode. I should just go into the kitchen with the iPad, turn it on, and like cook, and then while the stuff is in the oven, then I can be guilt-free watching TV because I'm cooking.
Right.
You know. So, but I'm like mixing things up in the kitchen, and I'm like watching my show on the thing, and I'm like,
You are a grandmother.
oh my god,
yeah,
I'm
that's what it
watching
is.
my stories.
My stories and making some stuffing.
If it would have either been Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune, you would have had a dead ringer there. On
That
one.
was exactly what it felt. I'm watching my stories.
Were you drinking coffee?
Oh my god, so much.
Hello, Aaron from LA.
Which I'm gonna get burned because I have class all day tomorrow, and I have to get up at 6:30 in the morning.
Oh
So.
my. Who the hell plans a class on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving? What is that?
Praise Jesus, they did because my cards expire the 1st of December, and like this keeps every 2 years it gets keep getting moved back a month, and I'm like,
Okay.
this motherfucker's gonna end up due like right around the holidays.
Oh,
And of
right.
course, I didn't get the email that it was coming up due till 60 days, which was like the end of September.
Okay.
And then what classes are available? Just this asshole class the day before Thanksgiving.
My God,
So
you're
we
probably
are-
the only person in the class.
Yeah, and we're hoping that God shows his mercy and the old gods and the new, as they say on Game of Thrones. And I'll worship any god you need me to if we can get out of there by 1 p.m.
Woohoo. Well, they already showed.
So I had to call in sick because I couldn't work
oh.
overnight, do all this, go to bed, get up and do that all day, and like I'll just be a fucking zombie.
The life of a starlet, Al. You've got. There's so much
Yeah.
going on. One of the news stations out of LA has already shown the. I mean, typically LA always has a crazy traffic backup, but of course every year
Oh,
the
I
holidays
bet.
they show.
Yeah.
I think it's the 405 that they show, and it's just solid both directions. And I'm like, it's just a shame that all the people going north don't want to be south, and all the people that are heading south don't want to be north.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it would eliminate
Love
all
the
of it.
one you're with. You know what I mean?
It would
Save
eliminate
on traffic.
so much shit. But I'm sure that, well, because, and again, I know a few friends of mine who are actually, 2 friends are actually flying to New York tomorrow to do their whole Thanksgiving, go to the parade, or they're leaving. Yes, they're doing the parade and all that other fun stuff. But I'm like, well, hey, when are you leaving? I'm thinking maybe Monday, Tuesday. Oh, no, Wednesday afternoon. I'm like, are you idiots? That is the absolute worst.
Worst day for travel.
Worst travel. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't it still the largest travel day of the year, Thanksgiving?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think Christmas Day is actually.
No, the
No,
day
I think it is Thanksgiving Eve.
Thanksgiving Eve is
Has
the,
always been
the busiest.
But it's all a shit show, and
Oh,
you couldn't
yeah.
Oh,
pay,
yeah.
you couldn't pay me
to
to
do
go.
either one of them.
No, I would do exactly what I do with Al. When he travels, I don't go near the terminal. I wait, a quarter of a mile away at the train depot, and the SkyTrain brings him there, and I don't have to go near the actual terminal because it's just crazy. I have no desire to be anywhere near
Oh no.
any of that.
I
And
agree.
people are so pleasant, at the holidays.
Yeah, exactly. So like they were, and I made the mistake last year. I went to Fry's a year ago on the Monday night before Thanksgiving. That was the biggest mistake I have ever made because the place was just looked like it had been ransacked and there was 50,000 people, and so I knew not to do that this year. But I had to go. I was to Trader Joe's on Sunday to whip in through there. Oh, good Lord. And I go when I just use the hand basket because
Right.
I never get that. I've never used a big basket there. But people were shopping for Thanksgiving.
Oh, of
so
course.
the basket use was up. It bottlenecked in the aisle. I mean, it was it was a thing.
I went with
I was going to look at the wine. I'm like, fuck it. I'm going home. I have wine at home.
we can look at wine Monday morning.
Exactly.
I went with Mom to the store on Sunday to do the Thanksgiving run, and it wasn't bad. Her store was not bad at all. Shelves were not picked over. Everything was good. We made and literally in less than 45 minutes, we made it through the entire store and we're out. So that's a
That's not
score.
bad.
And I went to Fry's, which for those of you listening, Fry's is a local. It's a Kroger.
Oh, yeah.
part of
Should've
the
said
Kroger
Kroger.
family of
Yeah.
supermarkets. Fry's in California, they're called Vans. Or no, Ralph's. I'm sorry, Ralph's.
Ralph's,
I
yeah.
think Ralph's is Safeway.
Oh.
You are correct. I am
And-
wrong.
and
It's
Vans.
Vaughn's.
Vons
Vons.
is
Right.
Vaughn's
is
is the Kroger. Aaron, I think
Kroger.
you can probably correct me on that, but I think Vaughn's is the
And I
The
only know
Kroger.
because now they've started remodeling. Yeah, they've started remodeling Ralph's and Safeways look exactly alike.
the same with just a different
Yeah.
logo. Got it. Hi, Mom. Mom's in the chat room there too.
Oh, okay.
So anyway,
Mama
we went
die.
to the store, and then I went on Monday to grab the stuff for today. Went yesterday to grab the stuff, and again, I thought I was concerned I was going to run into 9 million people at the store, all running, and no, everything was just normal.
Wow.
Maybe it's because I went. Well, no, I didn't go later. I went like at 8. I wouldn't. I don't know.
No, yesterday wasn't bad. And Thanksgiving week is one of the busiest travel holidays during the year. 4th of July is the one that's mostly road trips.
Okay.
But,
But for air travel, it is Thanksgiving, right? I would venture to guess.
Yeah, and for some reason it's that day, a heavier travel day than a Wednesday
Thanksgiving
that
Day?
precedes it. Thanksgiving Day is actually a heavier travel. Oh, then the traveling is also evenly spread over the 6
It's a weird
day
day
holiday
of is-
span. Because people
And Christmas, it's a weird. Everyone flies on Christmas. It's weird. Like that's a whole thing too, which I
But
don't
I thought,
really understand.
well,
but
it seems like I flew one time on Christmas Day somewhere, and it was wonderful because like there were 25 people in the airport. Like for some reason, there's some day in that whole thing where
Yeah,
you're like,
the-
that's the day to travel because
that-
nobody
go.
travels on that day.
It's a good if you're going to Vegas. The week between Christmas and
New Year's?
is always you can get all kinds of deals because everybody shows up
Gotcha.
like the day before New Year's Eve. So for
Right.
those 5 days, like who the fuck wants to be in Vegas? You can stay at like
Everywhere
the
for nothing.
Bellagio in a suite for like change on the dollar.
Oh.
And that was back in the day when Vegas was super expensive. Now they're hurting, so
Right.
their prices have fire sale prices.
And there's a trip I'll never make again is the New Year's Eve on the Strip in Vegas. Never again. Did it once.
Oh,
that was
it's
enough.
a one time. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like New York for New Year's. It's a one time only.
Yeah, don't have any desire. I'm surprised that Mom has made a comment. She would still like to go to New York City to see Christmas in New York
oh
City.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
Which
and,
surprised me because my mom is not really that. She's not a big crowd person, and she's not a big, that kind of a thing. And I was like,
and
wow.
I would recommend there to go January 2nd. Everything is still up.
they leave it up for a week.
They
don't
leave it up till the 5th, the 12th day of Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay.
And but the only thing that's changed is like some of the Christmas windows have changed to like a New Year's display. But all the the Rockefeller Center's all done up, and there's less tourists, but everything's still there and pretty, and there's still ice skaters and
Well, who knows?
all that
Maybe someday
nonsense.
we'll drag Mom there, but you have to go with us because
Oh,
I
absolutely.
will only go if you're a tour guide to New York City with me. That's all we're doing. So, Doug,
Always.
We've
a
never
pleasure.
been there at the same time.
Have we not?
Never.
Wow.
neither,
I know that
neither
needs
have
to
any of
happen.
us. Neither have
Yeah,
we.
we haven't either, Clayton.
I
You
was
and I
on
have
the-
never gone to
never.
New York
Yeah.
together.
Actually, we've never gone anywhere.
Anywhere. I've traveled with Al, but of all the places we've traveled, you would have thought New York would have been one of them. But
Yeah, I don't know how
hasn't
that's
happened
never
yet.
worked out,
We'll
yeah.
make that happen. You're going to come with me to the Hamptons.
Oh, wow. I just want to go and see some window shit. He wants to go to the Hamptons.
Well,
I'll do all
believe
the
me.
things.
Sure.
Everyone should see New York.
The fun part about New York is that you can go on a different vacation every single time in the same.
Never repeat
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Right.
My friend Lisa told me this one time. She said there's about 15 ways you can go at New York.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like, you're right about that. Like, you could do Broadway, you could do history, you can do entertainment,
Museums,
you
you can do the park.
nightclubs. Like, she was like, and this is what she said about traveling. She said, make sure if you ever go with anybody, either romantically or friend, that you are on that same page, because you're going to be really unhappy if you're not, because there's not
right.
enough
Oh, yeah.
time to do it all.
Right.
So if they want to go to concerts and nightclubs and you want to go to museums and whatever, that may not
That
all
trip is not gonna work out
gonna
well.
work out. You got to
No, that's-
have a plan. So
And I was there with some friends. That's been about 10 years ago, and like everybody was kind of sitting around looking at each other, and I had to go one by one. I'm like, "What did you come to New York for? What did you come from New York for? What did you come from New York for?" I'm like, "Go do that.
Yeah.
Like, don't wait for me."
Because I've already done all that.
Yeah, I'm like, or
Right.
yeah, it's like I'm not gonna take you there. Like, you know, somebody was like all into Project Runway. I'm like, then go to 6th Avenue.
Right.
Like, just go get it done. Go see it all. And they're like, oh, I'm like, yeah, we're not bound at the hip here, people. Like, everybody, your separate ways. We'll pick a meeting point if we have tickets for something together. We all want to do dinner. You know, I'm gonna have a bagel in the morning, and I'm pretty much good till dinner. You know.
I would be one of those people that wants to go to all of this, like, well, certainly 30 Rock because of NBC, but I'd like to go to all the studios and see all the behind the scenes stuff, and the Ed Sullivan Theater where Letterman was for
sure.
so long, and now Colbert is. So I would love to see all the theater stuff like that. In addition to, I would love to see shows, but all the
Yeah.
how it's done always is fascinating. to me.
especially for you like that.
And the Ed Sullivan Theater's small.
Yeah.
That's a small theater.
They're all tiny.
Yeah, they're all
except
pretty
for
small.
yeah, there's a couple of big ones like the one on 42nd Street where Ragtime is big, and Spider-Man turned off this musical. That was
Carnegie's big.
yeah, but that's not a Broadway house. But the Ed Sullivan is a legitimate.
is a
that's
Broadway
a Broadway
house.
house. Yeah.
This,
Oh.
we saw the Carole King at the Sondheim,
That's
and they
tiny.
said that was, but they said the one's even smaller
Oh yeah.
than
the,
that. They said
the
it was
teeny
one of the
tiny
yeah.
booth theater where Dame Edna played. I was like, oh, that's the whole thing. And then where Rent played, the Niederlander is this big with bathrooms that should have been condemned. And I'm like, are we just going for the grittiness of the real Lower East Side?
Right.
Like,
Did they build the whole theater for the show?
yeah, somebody gonna sell me smack on my way out? Like, what the fuck?
I know the kids to use smack as a drug reference, but
It's
all right.
pertinent if you've seen the show.
Oh yes.
Not said he'd be. It's okay to get lost in New York. That's all right.
Luckily, it's a grid, so
Right.
you're either going one way or the other. Like unless you get in one of the circles, life is good. And then the circle leads back to a grid, so you're fine.
Oh,
There's a
circle.
giant park in the middle.
There's that.
So
Oh my. heavens.
what you been up to?
What have
Will?
you since we last saw you,
Yeah,
Doug? How
so
are things?
I've been good, just really busy. Obviously, I'm learning that when I'm in the semester, that's just what it's going to be. And so
Yeah.
I'm playing hooky right now because I'm supposed to be grading papers, and I said I'm not going to do it. So
Yeah.
that's not great because I'm a little behind, but oh well, they're just going to have to
You're
wait.
you'll
So
make up your
I'm
time.
doing it tomorrow. So
I heard if you just write a grade on it, and
yeah,
move
just
it
put
to
an
the
A.
side,
Yeah,
you don't have
it's
to read it.
faster. Or put just D. Put a D on there. Mix it up.
Sure.
So,
Seems
but I'm
legit.
happy to have like we were talking earlier, some time off, and then it's going to be done, and then I'll have some Christmas time. And I have decided I'm with my old friend Denise that Al remembers, Denise Anderson, my dear friend lives in Denver. We are going to Santa Barbara for a long weekend.
Oh, how nice.
On December, the week before Christmas, Wednesday to Sunday.
Will there be Santa Barbara left
Well,
when you get there?
We were talking about that because I had no idea where Santa Barbara even is, but I hope it hasn't. I don't think it caught on fire, but
It's quite a ways north of Malibu, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I mean, not a
Aaron
huge
might know.
amount. Maybe 40 miles, 50 miles.
I don't remember either of it. I know it's all in that area.
Yeah, I think the fires.
I would appreciate it if when you go, you take rakes with you.
Yes, I'm
Because
gonna
I
do some
want you-
raking.
I'd like you to clean
Yeah.
as you go.
Like
There's no
like the
reason.
Finnish do.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like you just to clean
Did
as
you
you
see
go.
how they trolled Trump?
Oh my God, yes! All the memes of they standing in
Fantastic.
the middle of a forest with a vacuum.
Yeah. And I like their president, and he said, "Yeah, I never said that.
Yeah,
He's
no.
a fucking liar."
Yeah, it's a colder, rainy climate. They don't have those issues. Yeah,
Right.
crazy.
Well, first off, I am very mistaken because
What?
the Paradise is the one up north.
Yeah, Paradise is up north of San Fran.
So that's like
That's the one
7
that burned
hours.
down.
That southern one where they evacuated Malibu, that's let me
just
check
north
that
about,
distance.
just right over the hill from LA, right?
Yeah, and I never know. I've passed by Pepperdine so many times, but I never know like what is it that I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like what? So
I don't know.
let's find out.
Yes, Aaron from LA, the Roombas. I saw the meme about
Yeah.
send Roombas.
So that's 67 from Malibu to Santa Barbara is like 67 miles.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Further north. Correct?
yeah,
Right.
because when you drive up, because I've driven that Pacific Coast Highway a couple times,
Mm-hmm.
and when you go by Pepperdine University, you're just like, oh, all right, that's fucking spectacular. Like it just sits on a rolling hill right up from the ocean,
No.
and you're like, what the fuck?
Okay.
Because I'm always like, I don't really give a shit where you went to school. Like it's you
I
went
love
to
that about you.
Yeah.
You don't care where anyone went to school.
you went to college. Shut the fuck up.
Did you learn
Al told me.
something?
Can I tell you what that one time he said? Is if you have a full-time job and after the age of 30, nobody gives a fuck where you went to college. So stop talking about it. Like it's important maybe when you're 25, but nobody cares. I went to blah blah blah, and we don't care. You have a job. Good
Yeah.
for you.
The
Yeah,
only-
and then your experience becomes your resume. Like, okay,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
you got a
I
degree
went to a
from
community.
somewhere.
I went to Mesa Community College. Okay, but I run XYZ company. Well, that's really your
Well,
your resume.
but you have to have the things that they require for whatever you're
Right,
doing.
but again, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you got I was taught out of a back alley, out of a book, and I learned 3 things that made my life magical.
hey, and if that's the degree they need,
That's
I guess
right.
good for you. If you find a job that takes
Right.
the unaccredited back of a truck degree, hey,
Still looking for that.
So I'm great. Al, how? I guess Marnie's still not here.
No,
I'm
she was
gonna-
off on her timing.
I'm gonna listen to what Al's doing from the kitchen while I get
Oh.
wine because I
Oh.
need to.
Would you do me a favor on your
I
way?
would be
when you come back,
delighted.
bring one of those little Corbel champagnes.
I will do that.
Just because. I'll do it out of the bottle. I don't give a shit. I am not fancy, Douglas.
I'm gonna turn some dials. Talk about something real quick.
I feel like I should do a play-by-play of Al and Doug in the kitchen. I should have rewired the kitchen cam so we could have a scene in there.
I just decided all that stuff should be off because I'm not standing there stirring it. I have it on low, but I don't.
Gotcha.
I don't want gravy to start like
Splat-
spraying.
No, we do not.
So.
The take it ants. That take it ants.
Spraying gravy.
Yeah, that's it.
And not in the way you think I mean.
Oh crap. Anyway, so it's work for you. Are you
So-
going somewhere soon or no? I always feel like
yeah,
you're gonna leave.
little trip to LA, and found out. I don't even know if I should say it on the air, but I'm going to. Because who's listening? That where I
Wow.
where I store my key fob in my house is like inside the house,
Yeah.
but technically it's right next to the car, so my car is never officially locked. Like if I pull my car up by the
Oh
house,
my God,
the
you're right.
car's not locked.
I have a Ford as well. I understand. I didn't think of that. You can walk up to the door and it'll just open the car.
And I didn't think I
I've
don't
never-
always like. There's a place that I keep my keys.
Yeah.
Just to remember where they are. And
Not
I'm like,
anymore.
oh no, can't
Not
do
anymore.
that. Yeah, I'm moving that. So
I put it in the other end of the house. Maybe.
jokes on you, fuckers.
I didn't think about that, but it's a proximity to the car. You are correct.
Yeah, as you know.
How did you learn that?
Because today it was like, oh shit, I got to go in the house and get my key, or to open the car because I left something in there, and I just walked up and pushed it twice, and it opened and it flashed, and I'm like, oh, fuck,
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
yeah. So I mean, it's just one of those things that you don't think about when your driveway is like right next to your house, and sometimes I don't park there because I want to avoid the goddamn tree.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yes, I agree with you on the tree.
So funny, delightful story. I doubt he is. I doubt that he is listening, but if he is, he already knows. So, the cutest boy in the whole world, honest to God, just fucking slays me. appeared at midnight on Saturday. Yeah.
Sure.
Appeared at midnight on Saturday, calls me at like 6 minutes to 12, and I kind of had an idea that he was in town and might want to do something Saturday. But, by 10:30, I don't know. Let me try. So about 10:30, I
give
had
up.
kind of given up, and I'm like, minding my own business in my sweatpants, watching the TV. And 5 to 12, the phone rings, and I get, hey, you want to meet up for a drink real quick? And I was like, sure.
Is this one of those you-ups?
Yeah, I'm like, you wanna, I'm like, you wanna go to Cobalt? I gotta get you a glass.
Why?
Oh, okay, or not.
No.
Yeah, I'll get you a glass.
I don't
please.
need it. It comes in a bottle.
So,
Would you like a
would
straw?
be.
No.
Okay.
So he was like, "Well, I'll just come over to your house," and you would be shocked and surprised how fast
You
I
cleaned
could
the
clean
house.
this bitch up and got the house cleaned and like laundry put away.
Yes.
If
It's
from-
amazing, isn't it?
From Royal Palms to my home, which is not far by Chariot. Uber.
You're dating a
That's the word.
Viking now?
Yeah, well, Annette, you're the second cutest. And I can't say anything else because everybody knows I go total tard when this kid's around. Like, I just lose my fucking mind.
Okay.
So, went to Charlie's, had a lovely time dancing and seeing people.
Oh
and we
my
got,
God.
I know. Cookie got to see him in person. He's just the cutest boy in the whole world.
All right.
And it's like hiding my credit cards. I have no self-control around like nothing.
I don't even know who the hell this
Zippo.
is.
We might need photographic.
And I'm not.
Pictures.
And the thing that kills me is this goddamn shirt. So, not this shirt.
Oh, not that shirt. I'm like, wait, what about that beautiful royal blue shirt?
Not that shirt. He has on this white dress shirt, like this pearly white tuxedo shirt. Oh
Nice.
my god.
Yeah.
I was done
That's
in.
nice.
I was like, Nikki Onstein, what a beautiful, beautiful name. I was fucking finished.
God.
Because when she sees Nikki
know.
Arnstein, she's in love with the shirt.
I know. I remember. You've told the story 100
Oh.
times.
Not about the shirt.
You've told that Nikki Armstein story.
Oh yeah,
100
that's
times.
just when she sees him. That's what she sings. But you don't know. I've
Oh,
never
but
gone
no,
to
you've
the
gone to the detail of the
because
shirt.
The shirt. Because she's touching him and talking about how beautiful he is, and she has to look down and like talk about the shirt to get out of it. Because she's touching his chest, and she's like, "Oh,
And that is Al dating.
no." If that one even suggested he was into anything that involved me,
Based on how this story is going, by the end of it, Al's going to be pregnant, is what
Yes,
it sounds like.
exactly.
from your mouth to God's ears. I don't care how we trap him into marriage. He's
I'm going to need to know more about this person. Annette, somebody please confirm this. Well,
no.
we'll
I'm
get
not
somebody
dating
right on
anybody.
that, Annette.
Yeah,
I think you're probably fine.
but
Well, all right.
so that was fun. So it was fun. Went to Charlie's, and then a little bit of dancing, a little bit of
Was
fun.
was it crowded if it was a Saturday?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Busy. Went out the patio, nice time, and then off he went back into the Wild Blue Yonder again, and it was like, okay, see you sometime again.
See ya.
But just the funniest thing, and I'm like trying to get Snapchat sent and find out shit. Like, I want proof.
Oh, golly. Doug had a bigger week, or Al had a bigger week than I thought.
Wow.
No, the point was I cleaned my house.
Well, something had to motivate you to do
Wow, that was a long way to get back to that.
Exactly. That's the point.
it. My house cleaning story is never as good as as Al's. Mine is my mother, who's like, and she does this every once in a while. She's like, well, we're going to see the Herberger Theater that's downtown Phoenix, and we're on going to dinner, and they always go to dinner in the Central Corridor, obviously. So
Okay.
she's like, I'm going to bring over your mail, and what? I'm like, where are you? Oh, we're just leaving. I'm like, oh no.
We just turned off Central.
And one
Yeah.
day I just said, I'm going to meet you outside.
Yeah.
You're not coming in my home.
No,
But I know she does it on purpose.
no hablo inglés. Senorita Wilkie, no
No
saki.
sake. I clean up, okay?
Doug no home.
Yeah,
Doug no home.
no hablo.
Nice day.
But it's so funny how quickly you really, and because I dread, I'm like, don't want to clean the house or whatever, and then it's amazing how quickly you can actually and make yourself look presentable, all in one fell swoop.
Yeah, and I had to go and get a jacket because the hoodie thing, it's so light and comfortable, but it's so dumpy. You know what I mean?
Wow, you're even dressing up for this boy.
No, I mean, this is just, well, yeah. I mean, after that.
Yeah, house clean.
Yes, I'm so-
Sounds like everything's got some
oh, my
cleaning.
God. He is the cutest boy in the whole. If he's listening, I am so sorry, Caleb, but you
Why
are the
would
cutest
why
boy
would
in
you
the whole
listen
world.
to this show?
I don't know.
I have no idea why anybody would listen to this show, but thank you all for doing it. The 4 or 5 of you out there who do. Actually, you're all in the chat room right now, so thank you very much. Oh, actually, I just realized something. You, Alan is often in the chat room. My friend Alan lives down the street.
Oh, yeah.
He's in the chat room on the YouTube, and he said he has messaged with you a few times, but I didn't realize that was him. And sometimes he catches our show on the YouTube when he's home. So that's what it is.
He is not there yet.
So Alan Sledge, if you're out there listening, hello.
I am monitoring the YouTube, and it's usually just for Bridget and Nant are the only two. Oh no, and then there's Michael in Florida. There are
a couple
people in there. Yeah.
Couple people.
So that was the excitement, and it just open this fucking hospital and leave me the fuck alone. Like
Finish it.
like we're half and half.
Oh.
Well, we're more like 1/4 or 1/3 in the new place and 2/3 in the old place, which may have improved today. It seems like Tuesdays and Thursdays they've been moving over more populations,
Okay.
and it's just the stress of like just fucking do it, like shit or get off the pot.
Yeah.
And there was a phone-in meeting last week when I was coming
Right.
here.
Right.
And that was kind of the point, was like they think they're going to start rushing it because it's just one of those, like, we're putting it off too long, but now
Right.
the holidays are coming and people are like me, like calling in sick because I just can't fucking work a full-time schedule and live my life this week, you know? So you don't want to have that happen on a day where you're transporting whole units of people. And it's just, and I keep doing that line from that George Michael song, if these wounds are self-inflicted, because it's all like causing mania, but it's all me. Like,
Oh.
I could just not care.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
my
hard,
other
though.
option
it's
is
so
to
hard
just
to not care, though.
be the oblivious person that just shows up at the new place and doesn't know anything. But I'm
But-
like,
I always end up caring, though.
yeah, and it's
Because I'm getting that from my colleagues. They're like, because I'm venting a lot, and they're like, well, why does that bother you? I'm like, because those students drive me fucking crazy. And they're like, who cares?
yeah.
Like, I wish I could. I think I will acquire that eventually, but
Yeah.
it's hard to make yourself not care about things that you care about.
Right.
I have a quick question. I've seen the new building, but from afar, and it looks beautiful, by the way.
Oh, it's beautiful.
But, like, is it really close?
Like 10 feet.
Okay,
I think
because I was thinking you work with those really, really ill people. Like, how are they going to transport them? Like, you just do it? Like, just put them on a thing
you
and
travel
you go?
for
or-
procedures. Like, you just got to hope that there's nobody that day that's like, okay, this is going to be tricky,
Yeah.
you know, and
Do they not have tunnels at this point? Or even tunnels for you guys?
they're connected. The buildings
Oh,
are
they are
connected.
connected.
Yeah,
All right.
you don't have
So
to go
you're
outside.
not in the elements.
No,
I
they-
thought they were going out through the parking
Right.
lot, or like
No,
with
there's a,
kidney transplant.
Aunt Mabel's
person.
taking a trip.
They call it there's an ancillary building in the back of all the buildings that's where all of the OR, they built this giant OR a couple years ago, and that is the way that they connect, because the OR is attached to both. You go,
Oh, okay.
So that's the thing, and like I said, but it's just self-inflicted, but it's making me nuts, and like I'll wake up in the middle of the day just panicked about something of like, what's this gonna be like? You know what I mean?
Or did this get done? Or has this been moved? Or where is this now?
And I have that stupid lower charge nurse thing, you know, basically king shit a turd mountain for a couple nights. But you have to do staffing and you have to do like stuff. And so that's the part that's like giving me the agita. It's like,
Oh.
how are we going to do this? How many people do you have to tell? You're going to work at a different unit. Like there's just, ugh.
Look at Anant.
What?
I'm gonna say Anant. I'm gonna say yes.
You can check Grinder anytime it feels appropriate.
Did somebody say you couldn't?
Yeah.
I bet you can with a strap or something.
Yeah. Put on a helmet.
On a helmet? You're just as good as anybody else on that little app there.
Jason and I saw Jason Carlton, the wonderful Jason Carlton, last night. He was so charming, by the way, and very well dressed, and he's really good at his job. So
It involves drinking and socializing.
Well, no, he did not drink. He did not.
Well,
He was
one time I saw him, he had.
he was hungover, but yeah, it's a long story. But anyway,
Sure it is.
I was sharing that was Grinder like 10 years ago when it debuted.
No idea.
Well, whenever it did, we were at Charlie's, and you were there, Clayton, and I was being introduced. I was I wasn't even on Facebook then, I don't think. And he was explaining Grindr to me, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, wow. And this whole thing about like it tells you you're 1 mile away.
March 25th, 2009.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
So, and
Google's amazing.
And he's saying now it's more sophisticated, but back then, it would tell you like they're a mile away or whatever. And I just marvel, with all technology. I'm like, well, that's really interesting, and kind of a good idea. You know where someone is. So he puts it on, and we were in Charlie's, and it was like, there's someone, they're 400 feet away or something. I said,
oh, it'll get more
what?
accurate
Well,
than
he's-
that.
He said now it will. It really will. But that night, and I was just flabbergasted because I just don't understand. But I was like, what? And he was like, I'm like, what does that mean? He goes, Doug, it means they're right here.
Yeah.
they're
Look to
yeah,
your left.
Exactly.
They're right.
We were reminiscing about that last night and laughing about how Grindr just a whole new era now.
Yeah, it's just it's a wonderful stalker issue.
I
Stalker assistant. I mean, that's what I meant.
hold on.
Holy cow, Marnie! How late?
Yeah, how late
Are
can
you going
she
to be here for
be?
this show or another show? 2 minutes ago,
She'll
she
be
said-
early for next week's show.
She just sent me a text that says apparently ish means later than 7:15 by a lot more than anticipated. At least that's what I understood to be loosely translated. It's European. By the way, I'm close. You know that is accurately true. I didn't say ish. Okay.
No, I'm not convinced.
I don't know when she'll be here, but who knows? We'll see. That's why we decided that this year's show, we're going to do the open this segment of the show. Then we're going to take a break after Marnie gets here with 18 bags of stuff.
Yeah.
And builds whatever she's going to build in the kitchen. Once that's done, we'll take a brief 10-minute break
And eat.
and then come back
Yeah.
for the remainder of the show. But at this point, we don't know when she's going to be here. We have no idea. So hold on to your wigs and keys, kids.
And I didn't know. Like I'd heard the word grinder, but I didn't know anything about it. And when we did the mock-up for the
For
for
Barbara,
Barbara Seville's walk, the AIDS walk, I didn't
get it.
get it. And so when I go away in the summer, I usually pack that T-shirt and a couple other T-shirts and like as like a pajama top kind of thing.
That's funny.
And and there's always questions about the shirt, and I never know because I don't wear T-shirts that have anything on them
Typically,
except for
right.
it's something from work that is like some
Nothing logos
something
or
they're
Promotional,
pushing,
right.
Yeah.
or it's that one. So somebody's like, "Oh, Wonder, is that some kind of grinder?" And I'm like, what?
Wow.
And they're like going on. They're like, the picture in your shirt. I'm like, I don't know.
What is
and
it?
then when I say it's about an AIDS walk, they're like, oh, and I'm like, no, wait, I think that went somewhere off. Like, that sounded judgy. Like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So then they had to show me the app and the picture.
I realize it's a play on
God.
words.
Because I was completely baffled by the question. And then one year I walked out into the kitchen for post drinking, like hungover cleanup, and they had improved the computer system. So, and I had just brought that T-shirt with me to sleep in. And so my friend Justin is asking me all these questions about this computer system. I'm like, am I high? Like, why?
Why
Why
me?
at this hour of the morning are you asking me questions about computers? I don't understand. He's like, well, your T-shirt is an advertisement for something called this 3.0. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is. It was a free
Are there any women on Grindr? That's not a thing, is it?
Yes, there are.
Oh, it is?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
they need to get the hell off of it.
Oh, well, Jenny, you've been warned.
so Alan is
Tinder. Tinder is for you, Jenny.
Tinder,
Go find it.
yeah.
Tindr.
Tinder.
Alan says hello, and Marnie
There's-
Aaron says
Hello,
Yeah.
Alan.
Hi, beautiful people. I know it's not safe, but I have you all in the background as I'm driving to get there. Oddly, I'm to fill that seat that looks so empty, but I have potatoes and corn.
Oh, thank you.
I was hoping this was Aaron saying that Marnie was alive, but no, it's
Marnie's
Marnie
driving.
and texting
That's
and
good.
probably still stirring the corn.
And visually watching us?
Yeah.
Is she
Oh,
actually?
I'm hoping she's learned that a podcast you can just listen.
I know, but when she mentioned the empty chair, so I don't know if she just realizes there's an empty
Oh,
chair.
and she's definitely watching.
Well, she may, yeah. Who knows?
So everybody
much
check your insurance.
Good God!
Oh my God, there's someone named Suck My Dick just 15 kilometers
Wait
away.
a minute!
What?
Wait, hold
Whoa,
on.
Anand?
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Okay,
Whoa.
first off, Anand, things at your
Let's-
job have changed
Yeah.
since last we chatted. Since he used to listen to this under his desk, now he's on Grindr.
Wow. So, is there a meeting in the ladies' room
Yeah.
now? What
So
the hell's going
Clayton,
on there?
Jenny's asking if Grinder is men only, and
Yes.
you're saying no, it's not.
Well,
that women
there
get
are-
on.
there
It's
are-
supposed to be.
There are
Jenny.
others on. I don't know how they slip through the cracks, but there are. But it's not. It's. There's another one for girls. I honestly think it's called Scissor.
Oh,
I think.
Yeah.
I'm completely wrong on that, but because I don't have any reason or need to check on those
Yeah.
kids. But no, there's an app for them. The Grinder
Okay.
is just for
Yeah.
is for
I
guys.
thought Tinder was the. But if you're.
Tinder's
for
for straight.
But is Tinder only straight, or
No,
can you be
God,
lesbian on
no.
there, or whatever the hell you are?
Whatever
Sorry,
the
I mean,
fuck-
I didn't mean that. Aimed at you,
Whatever
Jenny.
you're looking for, you can
Yeah.
set the profile to
Oh, okay.
whatever.
So there's gays on Tinder.
Oh dear God, yes.
Oh, I didn't. I don't know
Yes.
about any of it, but
Yeah,
okay.
I understand.
He knows what he wants, and you're gonna have to go 15
Kilometers to get
it.
to do it.
Wow.
may
Oh,
or may
is
not.
it
About 7
Joe
miles.
says it may be Blender. I don't know what the hell it is. Bad
What
shoes.
did you say? Wonder? Why did your shirt say Wonder?
Because Barbara Seville was the Wonderful 100,
Oh,
and it
okay.
said Wonder, but it had like the face from Grinder
Right.
or something, and it was spelled like without the E. Or,
Oh, okay.
And it
I was making me think of. I have a shirt from a million. Do you remember Wonder Bread?
Yeah.
There still is Wonder Bread. I think. Is there?
I'm sure there
I'm
is.
sure
with
there's still people that
with
eat
that,
that.
iconic logo that was the red.
Yeah, and she did the
yeah.
Wonderful Bread one.
I have a shirt that says Wonder Bitch
Oh, but one
that
of
I used to wear to BS
but
West
one of the
when I
wonderful
was
one-
young and skinny and beautiful.
one of the wonderful one. I don't doubt that at all. One of the any part of your story could be true.
Sure. Actually, I'm going to find a picture of it for
One
you.
of
Well,
the
the young and skinny part is true.
One of the
Really?
Barbara Seville shirts was a play on Wonder Bread. Was a
Yeah.
play
Yeah,
on
which
Wonder
I
Bread.
thought was one of the cutest shirts.
Yeah, I did too. I like that one.
Yeah.
Tinder
That one I
doesn't
didn't
have
wear.
an option to designate your. Oh, interesting.
I'm almost pretty certain.
Grindr's no longer men only. I'd be the social scientist in me wants to know what's the prevalence of like women, straight or gay, on Grinder, or is Grinder all gay?
No, they just said that Grindr's no longer men only as update adds support for
Oh,
women
women,
and trans people.
Okay, thank you, Aaron.
I kind of feel
You
like
just ask, and
yeah, I just sit here in this room
I'm
and
not
ask
wearing any
questions.
pants.
Well, it might be time for a photo then, Anand. You have my email.
Oh, okay. Or you could just send it to message us on Facebook and I'll just put on the show. Jesus
Yay!
Christ. She brought it all in a
She
wagon.
put a fucking wagon.
She brought everything in a wagon, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Well played.
Wow.
But it's the only way to hear you people. God, you're so
Well, we wanted you to know
So
you're
judgy.
late for tonight's show, but very early, for next week.
Yeah.
judgy.
So just have
And
it.
I
You just
feel
put
the
a
same
pillow
every
and you.
week.
You are
You have
too
to lean down
funny.
that far to get into the shot, Marty. You can see yourself here.
Well, I mean, if I go,
Well, no, but go
This
over.
way.
There you go. Now just
well,
bend.
now
Yay.
just
Well,
Just your tits.
it's kind of where
Tits on Minnesota. It's a new game.
It's kind of where it started, anyway.
tits on the home state.
Tits on the
I'm so happy to see you,
Tits on
Marnie
the
Ryer.
Tits on the home state. Whatever.
I'm so happy you're here.
Good to see you. I love you too, honey. Yeah, I heard about all this. Scissors. Here it is.
I don't know what it is.
We needed her to chime in on all of
I don't
this.
keep up with bad fashion
Well,
choices
she's
and
been in a
clogs
relationship for a
Oh,
quarter
she's been the
century,
wrong
so she
person
has
to
one on
ask.
scissor
for a
either.
quarter century.
So I'm not trying to hijack this conversation, but
I'm used to it. I've worked with Al for
but
years.
so tell me this one, if you guys can explain this to me. I've had other people try, and I don't understand this, but evidently lots of famous people are on Tinder, like Chelsea Handler and all these other people, and it's like a whole thing.
That's
No,
'cause she's
and
a fag hag.
but I mean they're on there to get laid. First of all, when you're really famous, can't you just get laid? Like, and I just do you think that's odd if you were on Tinder
I'm a
and you're
prime
like scrolling
example
through
of
and
that.
there's
No.
like. But I mean, seriously, and people were like, "No, it's like a whole like they just." Wouldn't that be weird? Wouldn't you swipe to be like, "Yeah, I want to have sex with that celebrity"? Like, how do they screen? I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
they- but
what are your thoughts on that?
Well, sure, they can put themselves out there, but they have to like agree to it. It's not just like someone says,
No,
"All
I
right,
know,
now
but,
you're
like-
my hostage." But yeah, but they.
I mean, I just thought it was odd that you could potentially have sex with a celebrity on
Yeah.
Tinder.
I mean, I guess if they're on there, and in LA,
No,
everybody's...
she is. Not just many others. I was
Yeah.
surprised actually at the names that had
But
been on there.
It's an industry town, so you figure
Yeah, I
they
guess so.
don't
No,
really
but
care.
They don't really. I would be like, oh my god, but
Right. I
they
mean,
don't really. So they just don't give a shit.
I mean, I don't think Julia Roberts is on...
No, she's
yeah.
probably
So,
not.
just to touch
Yeah, I'm
base
sorry.
back. No. That's right. On the Wonderful 100 T-shirts. Here's an image for you. So you see
Oh,
the
yes.
so the Wonder
the
logo.
Wonder.
They made it into like a drag queen with the little thing that says Wonder. And then in the middle, there's obviously the Wonder Woman bust.
Oh, I see
Wonder Bread is to the right there with the blue and red
Yeah.
circles.
That's my
The
Wonder
Yas
bitch.
Queen was a takeoff on Burger King.
Right.
But in the question mark, this was a promotional poster because they were trying to figure out what they were going to do for this year, which they wound up doing for the 10th year, the final year of doing it. It was the
Arizona state flag, right?
The play, no, it was a play on the State 49.
Oh, the
or what-
Centennial.
the
yeah.
Centennial thing, so
Yeah,
they did
yeah,
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what. We're
Wait,
talking
Jenny, are you saying Jennifer Aniston is on Tinder, or you're asking if she is?
about. Or is it just
Oh,
her,
I'm
just her
thinking-
hair?
You know what I mean? Like if we were saying like who you're gonna find on there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That's how I'm assuming she meant it.
Gotcha.
Well, she might be.
Yeah.
There was a high. I was surprised.
I am too. This is my surprise look.
Well, there's a couple of restaurants in like Hollywood, like up there's two named Coyote but spelled differently. That like you're just there and there's just like or
Everybody
in New York,
knows.
too. Like
Yeah.
there's a place like upstairs from Joan Allen. There's and like you just go up there for drinks. You need a reservation, but you don't need a reservation like weeks in advance unless it's like a particular holiday. But we've gone for friends' birthdays and there's like Nathan Lane is at the next table
Yeah.
and like Michael C. Hall and Marissa Tomei are right there and like everybody it's just that's where they're drinking too. You know, they kind of everybody has a
Yeah.
little bit of professional courtesy of like leave Nathan Lane alone.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know.
Oh, I've
Or-
seen my share of
Or
celebrities.
there's
in-
somebody more famous in the room than the person you're drooling. You know what I mean? You're like,
Yeah.
oh my god! Like I guess one day it was Liza Minnelli, but like half the room are like,
Yeah.
well, who's the fat Italian lady? And then two queens are like, it's Liza Minnelli. You know?
It is weird when you're
Lady
when you
Kazan!
are in LA. Like I saw at TCBY, there was 3 people in there, and I was getting a yogurt, and there was Arnold Schwarzenegger with his kids. Like
Yeah.
just Kim Basinger. I handed her a cocktail napkin in a bar. She tapped me on the shoulder and was like, "Can you hand me a napkin?" And I was like, "Oh, yes,
Last-
I can."
Last summer when I was in LA, when I was still working for Edge, we walked from our hotel we were staying just south of Sunset, and we walked up to an Italian restaurant that's on a corner of something. I guess the restaurant means something. And 2 tables over was Fabio, wasted.
Yeah.
What a girl.
And I'm like, good Lord. And when I saw him, I'm like, wow, in the 80s and the 90s, you were bigger. Like I thought he was a
sure.
bigger person. But no, he's
Yeah.
just gotten older. But yeah, Fabio, like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
And in New York, a couple years ago, I was there the same time as the Tribeca Film Festival, and
Oh, there's probably
Reese
people
Witherspoon and
everywhere.
I had a sidewalk collision because we were both looking at our
Yes,
phones.
you,
that
I remember you talking about
I
that.
think her lawyer is still trying to find me because I mean,
Sorry.
we
I'm surprised you didn't kidnap her.
we knocked her in. We knocked each other into next week, and we were both so mortified that it was just like, yeah.
Oh,
You never know.
that's so
She might have thought
funny.
you were somebody too. She might have like, I ran into whoever she thought you
Well,
might
I'm
have
sure
been.
she was thinking he knows who I am and he's going to sue me.
Exactly.
For the fact, but neither of us were paying attention.
Yeah, just
That's-
bam.
And she's a
Interesting.
tiny little thing
Yeah.
without makeup, and it was you really had to.
Makeup doesn't make you
No,
taller.
I mean, she was a tiny little thing, without
Without makeup.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like,
2 reasons not to see her.
you're certainly not looking at like the 5'3" height level for like a major star.
All
Like,
right.
she's
It's a child.
yeah, and that's why I felt so bad because she's tiny, and I was like, we
Plowed
were at
right
a
over.
clip, yeah,
Yeah,
and
just
it was like
knocked her on
asshole
her
over
ass.
elbows. Like
Yeah.
the fact that we were both standing at the end of it was kind of
Gotcha.
ridiculous.
Gotcha.
Wow.
That turkey is fucking stupid.
Yeah. It just melts. Try the bacon.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, okay.
I tried. Please feel free to take your teeth out before enjoying my turkey. And Alan, you might as well walk over and have some because there's enough here for like 30 people.
God damn, that's rough.
And my friend that's moving, I don't think he has internet, but I was trying to I think he thought I was inviting him for like a sit down dinner, but I was like, no, it's a grab and go. No one's inviting you
Yeah.
to sit down. Like just grab a plate.
Nobody.
Because he's in between moving and cleaning his cleaning the one apartment and moving to the other, and I'm like, it just swing down Camelback, grab some turkey, and go.
Nice.
And I feel bad because he's like, oh, I'm all sweaty. I'm like, no one invited you to sit down.
Yeah, there will be
Yeah.
no dining room.
You can sit out there
yeah,
by yourself.
Exactly. Clayton, how are you doing? Did we even get to that
no,
yet?
we did not.
Yeah.
We've been all over everything
Sorry.
else. It's quite all right.
Oh, the rest of the show's gonna be super short. I've got like one story and no entertainment.
Over the course of this past week, my cousin, who I believe may still be listening, I'm not sure, my cousin Mike, his lovely wife, Stacy, came out, and their corporate offices are in my hometown in Missouri, but they have a warehouse and a distribution area out here. So she came out to do some marketing stuff with some sales reps, and it was very cool to have her out here. I went and picked her up from her hotel and drove up, and we had a lovely chat and dinner with Mom on Wednesday.
And hi, Mom. I didn't say hi.
But the interesting thing about that to me was her hotel where she was staying was over in Tempe, right off the 10. And she got back to her hotel about 5, and I had scheduled to pick her up at 5:30. Okay. So what the hell was that? Where'd that come from?
Oh,
Oh, that's her.
excuse me.
So yeah, nice horn.
Thanks.
So it's been so long since I've actually had to deal with rush hour
Oh,
traffic
it's the worst.
and driving all the way out there.
Oh,
Oh my God! Thank God. And I tell you, I love, and I don't know if anybody else gives a shit or not, but I love that Waze app that I use
Yes,
everywhere.
it's-
And I post it on Facebook, but I use that to go everywhere, even if I know where I'm going.
I saw
don't
you
care if I'm
post
going
that,
to Al's
yeah.
house,
Right.
Because
oh no! The one day he turned it on, I'm like, are you lost?
no, but
Because it gives you the better strategy.
it tells you the better strategy.
Yeah.
And I left Mom's house one day
so
this past
good.
week. I left the house, and I leave Mom's house, come right down I-17, exit Camelback. It's easy breezy, right? Nope. It says no. You need to exit Glendale, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
3 miles ahead of where I'm normal.
Yeah.
But sure as shit,
Oh, it's
I
so
got
good.
around that corner, and all I could see was brake lights. There was a wreck up ahead. I was off that freeway and on side streets, and probably
Oh,
saved
yeah.
me half an hour at least.
And if you're anything, I haven't had for 10 years. I haven't had a job where I drove in traffic.
Yeah.
I am the worst person at it. Like I've never driven rush hour traffic, and so accidentally, someone will have a day off, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna run to the store, and I look, it's
Right.
like 5:30, and I'm like, oh
Yeah,
no,
you
people
forget.
do this, and you
Yeah.
like see all the cars, and
Yeah,
it just
you
gives me
forget about that.
anxiety.
Yeah, and we just live
Fuck
in the
that.
bottleneck
Yeah.
here because they just keep putting traffic lights every 10 feet.
Have you seen Camelback at rush hour now at
All the
Indian
time.
School? It is
yeah.
ridiculous at
Yeah.
5:30.
Yeah.
It is insanity.
I don't know how much further they think it's going to stop to go east. It's backed up
That's
all the way to
right.
the Squaw Peak.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I know.
And my
It's
friend that
so
meets
weird.
me he'll meet me for happy hour at the Central Postino,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll like order the beer. I'm in traffic.
It'll be warm
It
by the
takes
time
when
you
I
get there.
go to my parents' house and when I go up to 51, it's like not even 10 minutes to get there. It takes me if it's rush hour, it takes me longer to get out of Phoenix to get from my apartment onto the 51
Oh,
than
yeah.
it does to get to the 51 to my parents' house.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
No,
great.
I-
I'm just
I
like
agree.
trapped.
That's why I ride my bike everywhere because I'm like that's
Yeah,
so much
it's
so
getting
much
ridiculous.
faster. And but
if you're listening, don't move to Phoenix.
well, move to Phoenix, but embrace public transportation.
And right now is the optimal time because all those fucking people who come from Minnesota,
Yeah.
Michigan, Missouri,
All
all
the
those
snow turds are
snowbirds,
back, yeah.
they just like, well, I'm just going to go drive at 5:30.
Yeah, right.
For no reason.
Yeah, thanks.
It's a lovely time.
They don't know
day.
where the hell they're going. They've got a 78
but the-
town car, and they're going to try to move this boat.
It's a Gran Torino, Christina.
They're driving all these cars, and they don't need to be out there. They do it in the
Lincoln
morning
Town
because they're up in the morning, because they're mall walkers and they got to get to the mall.
Exactly, the mall, the empty mall.
First, first you gotta find them all.
They have their Reeboks on.
God damn it! They just blocking traffic.
Baby
right
clothes
and
and
left.
tennis shoes.
So anyway, so there was that. So Stacy came to visit, which was great. So she flew back
Nice.
home, and it was a lovely little reprise for her because the day she left, they had 3 inches of snow on the ground in my hometown. So she came here, and we don't.
Yeah, we do not. It's been a nice
Yeah,
winter
A,
so
the
far.
weather's been terrific, and then
Beautiful.
Oh my God,
B
yes.
parts 1 and 2 is all
Chamber
these
of
fun,
Commerce weather.
all of the things that we knew would happen with all these apartment complexes being built every 5 feet.
Yeah.
It's all coming true.
Yeah.
Which part?
Yes.
Which part of the stories? Tell us.
No, but we've known that. They built between. No matter which way I take the 3 ways
Yeah.
I can take to work, I pass 6 new apartment
Right.
complexes
Yeah.
with 300 units.
Right.
That's
Coyotes.
instead of just having like one person per house. they're building things that have 300 people on a city block, and
Right.
they all have one car. You know what I mean?
Right.
And each person has a fucking car.
Right.
Right.
So that's what's made this
And nowhere to
downtown
park
I think
it.
it's
It's
so much
horrible.
worse because
Yeah,
Oh, it is
horrible.
everything's open.
I agree.
But you know they want it to go. They want us to go like the no driving thing. They
Oh,
are
absolutely.
serious as a heart attack about that.
Fuck them.
Well, no, now we.
That's what
Well,
I
no, the
think.
thing is now we have to like elect the right people so that they do it. Like make this light rail go down Camel. I mean, you're
Yeah.
gonna fuck up everybody's lives for a good solid year and a
Yeah,
half.
but we have
But
to have
make
it.
that fucking thing go to Scottsdale.
Yeah.
You know, pick whatever street you don't like. If you don't like,
Yeah.
but because
Right.
of the freeway, because of the 51,
Yeah.
the street that you're gonna fuck with less people is Camelback.
Yeah.
You know, because otherwise you gotta
Well,
go
and
under
the canal, and you have to figure all the canal stuff out.
Yeah,
and
if they
everything
had
else
done
out.
this, my friend Max, longtime listener from a long time ago, he suggested at the time just use the canals and put the tracks on either side of the canal, and you would get like all through the city.
'Cause it-
Sure.
Like put like
There's a lot.
eastbound one way,
Mm-hmm.
westbound the other way. There's a canal in the middle. Couple people drowning here. That's not our fault.
Yeah.
Just put up signs.
Yeah,
Learn to
and then you
learn
would
how to
just
swim.
and then
Right.
you wouldn't interfere with traffic, and you would get really bizarre
seconds,
patterns.
it's too
But
long.
most importantly, you would get from Phoenix to Scottsdale. So I think we should take a little break now and go eat some
Well,
fucking
wait.
food.
Well, has she done whatever prep she needed to do?
Is your stuff already?
My stuff was already when I got here.
All right.
Oh, now she's got an attitude about it. Well, let me finish what I've been doing, and then we'll talk to her for a second, and we'll get right back to your eating thing.
Okay.
I was just in there eating.
So the other thing I've been doing, and I know you've talked about it multiple times. So obviously Rachel Maddow has got the Bagman podcast that I've been
Yes.
listening to, so I'm all caught up with that, and it's an incredibly fascinating story where there's a lot of backstories to different things. Well, then I got caught up with her today, and then I found out that Chris Hayes, who has his weekly podcast, it's called Why Is This Happening, which interestingly enough is WITH, so hashtag with. He did an hour with Rachel, and they talked about a bunch of different things, which was really interesting to listen to. So I did that. Then I'm like, I am not done with this story. So I started season 1 of Slow Burn about the Watergate thing.
Oh, yeah.
And the first story, that first one about Martha Matthews, well, I forget her last name. I'm already intrigued. Like, I'm already into that. Getting ready to start the second
I
episode.
tried to get you to listen to it a year
I
ago.
know.
It's so
but
good.
All on my own time, kids. All on my own time. But so I walked around today. I had nothing else on but my headphones, just walking around listening to shit. Every time something would happen, I'd be like, oh, I can feel
And
myself reacting.
I can't remember whose wife is she.
She the AG's wife? No, she wasn't the AG's wife. I'll find out again. But it's fascinating. What I hate about this is there's so much information. I'll never be able to absorb it all.
Yeah.
I'll never be able to retain all of it. But what's really cool is, like with Rachel's Bagman thing, she's pursuing the Agnew thing and how they worked to get him all out before Nixon tanked and all this other stuff and all those players. So though it's all this stuff is going on at the same time, it's interesting. You might hear one name in this one just briefly, and then you listen to the other one, the Slow Burn, and these stories are running concurrently.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the take on who they pick and how the
And the
stories
Spiro
they tell.
Agnew story has nothing whatsoever to do with
Watergate,
Watergate.
Yeah,
nothing
it's
at
a
all.
separate
That's
story.
the part that makes that story so bizarre. And I
Yeah.
remember as a kid, I was like, I don't get how Gerald Ford got to I could never
Yeah.
wrap my mind
Yeah.
How
around
did
Gerald
that-
Ford. Like,
Yeah.
how did that happen? And then his was something like absolutely. This is a bribe, right? Isn't
Oh, it's all bribes.
It's all
Tax
bribes.
evasion,
tax evasion and
bribes.
Like,
Yeah, people were coming into the White House handing him bags of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
oh yeah, and Slow Burn is absolutely terrific.
So I'm very excited to hear all that. But again, it's
Nice.
I actually, when I hear it, I'm like, oh, I'm never going to be able to retain all this. There's just so many players in this game. And then what's even more interesting to me, because again, I didn't pay as much attention to history when I was younger, you realize all these names that come up, you're like, oh my God, that fucker is still involved. Like,
Oh.
they're still
Oh,
in
yeah.
government.
They're still in, like they were in the Bush administration
found
or the
out-
Trump
well,
administration.
Poppy Bush is
Yeah.
part of the Agnew thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, he was the
CIA.
CIA.
Yeah.
He was the head
So
of the
he was
CIA.
part of trying to squash the whole
You
investigation?
can go back further, and you can deal with the Kennedy stuff at that point.
Well,
because
they-
that's
well,
the part
no.
for me that like I was like,
They
holy shit.
they brushed on that in I think the Slow Burn. There was a recording they brushed into. I think it was Slow Burn. But yeah, so I'm like, now I need to go back even further and listen to
Yeah.
more of this. But when I hear names like Al Haig, I'm like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
that fucker too.
Alexander,
So,
right?
yeah,
like
so-
when
Yeah.
you
So the
go,
fact
wait,
that they only took 4 years off, you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
they all
Came
came back
right
for
back
Reagan's
in with
term
Reagan.
because Reagan didn't have. I mean, he had political background because he was the governor of California,
Right.
but he didn't have any friends in Washington. You know what I mean?
And he had a much better image, and so they came in that glossy new image of fucking Ron Reagan.
Oh, he just brought everybody back because he needed help on how to run it. It was kind of like Obama's problem when he came into office. He had only been a senator for 2 years, and he didn't have the support. That's why no one went on TV, and like he didn't
Yeah.
have like the echo chamber that Fox News has. You need to have all those people
Yeah.
ready to go, and now they're getting much better at it. But that's why like healthcare lost because they couldn't go on.
Yeah.
He didn't have all his supporters in line yet. He was only 2 years into his presidency. He'd only been in Washington since like 04 or 06. He was only a senator for a very short
Yeah.
time. So he had limited Washington experience, and he brought in all new people. So he just didn't have that echo chamber where
Yeah,
Reagan
so
comes in
nice.
unexperienced and brings back the entire Nixon clan.
All of them.
But they know all the workings of Washington. So he went in as a well-oiled machine. Reagan went in
Yeah.
with like the echo chamber in place. There was no questions. You know, if you fucked with Nancy, you were out. They had to
yeah,
learn that one. But,
right.
but so I mean,
Let her
that's,
pick her
that's what
China.
makes like that Reagan versus like other people when they come in as outsiders. Like Trump can't hire any job.
No,
And he has
no honest person.
He has no idea how, but he can't find someone who knows
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah.
Like there's no one
When
in
he
They're
also-
there.
And
riddled
if
with
they
people that don't
do,
know
they're
how
not
it's
going
They're
in
not going
there.
in there.
Well, that and every single person he does pick has an ethics violation or
Yeah.
already under investigation.
Oh,
Every single person
right.
has got baggage.
They're
So
only
did
the
Which
Reagan,
just
but
shows you how
Reagan's were
stupid
just a
he
little
is.
bit better at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But again, it's very again. If you
best
don't know, and maybe it's not interesting if you're not in America and you don't care about our politics, and I understand that because apparently, our problem really is that we don't rake the floors of all of our forests.
We need to do the raking.
Yeah, right.
Marnie,
But
did you
It's-
bring a rake?
It's fascinating to listen to these
I
and
raked before I
realize
came.
all of the dots that are connected with everything else. It really
Your
is
house won't
interesting.
burn down.
And then I watched on Sunday night, and then I'll tell this and we'll go eat. On Sunday night, they had the show on MSNBC that Rachel hosted called Betrayal.
Wasn't that good? I watched
Oh my
it too.
God!
Yeah, that was very good.
So good.
It actually made me
We have it
uncomfortable.
DVR'd. I haven't watched
Oh,
it
you'll
yet.
Oh,
enjoy
it's
the shit
so
out of it.
good.
It made me uncomfortable to think that was all going on, and that bitch did all the. Oh,
And
it
which
very-
one was that
Yeah.
about? Because I DVR'd it because I saw it, but I don't remember.
It's about the prolonging of the Vietnam War to make sure
Oh.
that Nixon got elected for a second
Right.
term.
Because
Right, right,
war's
right.
no
No,
good
first
for
war
him.
and wars,
third term.
money.
First
and-
term.
Wait, was that his
Right?
first?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was because it
that
came out of
was.
the Johnson era. I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
Right.
it was his first term.
Yep.
Because
Because Lyndon, that's one of the big things with history and like reading. When you go through the Warren Commission, like I remember like reading that fucking Warren Commission who looked into the Kennedy, that was the commission that looked into Kennedy assassination, and reading through all of the different things that kind of come together because of it, right?
right.
And
And
that-
is there a Vietnam connection
you're
to
right,
to that?
and war is money, and that's where and so there were people with Johnson from Texas, right, a Texas boy, and even though he was a Democrat, they were like, you need to get out.
But that's the switch of
Yeah.
the switch of the Dixiecrats. That's the switch to the South being Democratic to the South stopping because of Lyndon Johnson
Okay.
They went
deciding
Republican.
to stop being a terrible person,
Okay.
which he had been for a long time, and decided to do the Voting Act
Right,
and the
right,
Civil
right.
Rights Act, and trying to end Vietnam. Like he at the end, and he knew he couldn't win re-election,
Right.
so he didn't. He could have run.
Yeah. Oh,
and
absolutely.
He didn't, but he wanted to end Vietnam. He wanted to
Right.
do all these things and drop,
Right.
and that's why he dropped out. And his vice president ran.
And I'm
but-
pretty certain that, and I know that this is just me making it up, and I wasn't even alive yet. But I feel like that just reading all of that, it's not just who's the Lethal Weapon guy who's a racist.
Oh, Mel Gibson.
Thank you.
Like a
It's not
conspiracy
just like
theory.
a conspiracy theory because
I followed that whole.
Thank you so much for going in down that rabbit hole. But it's that conspiracy kind of stuff where you kind of go, I don't mean to sound like I'm off my fucking nut, but everything that and it wasn't just one thing. It was a lot of different things that I
Oh yeah,
read.
and then you find out this stuff from what was the show
Sure.
called?
Bagman.
betrayal.
Oh, there's
Oh,
Bagman,
Betrayal, yeah.
Betrayal.
No,
Yeah.
Betrayal was
Slow
the one
burn.
about
Right.
the one about
And the
Vietnam.
fact that like Lyndon Johnson being taken into the basement of like the Republicans and going, you need to fucking knock this off. We're keeping the war going. Like it's gonna continue.
Yeah, it's
It
crazy.
needs to. And Lyndon, you know, kind of probably at that point maybe being like, but I want to do these things.
Yeah.
So he does these good things because he knows that he's not going to get reelected because they'll kill him. I don't know. That's weird.
No, he wasn't going to
It's
get
fucking
he
weird.
wasn't going to get reelected because of the Civil Rights
Right.
Act.
But it's wild
Yeah,
to me.
yeah. So
That
he just took on
whole thing.
he just took on everything. Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
leave.
All right, so we're going to go take a food break. We'll be back in just a few minutes right here on the Q Talk America.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you. Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon.
Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in just a moment.
This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
All right. Well, we are
We're multitasking.
we're back now. All of our plates are out of camera shot, but we've all made it to the kitchen and shoveled plates full of delicious food.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes. Here we are. Something's playing. What's playing?
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to find the chat room.
Oh, gotcha.
So, here's an idea while they eat. I'll tell you a little something about pierogi.
Okay.
So,
Oh, fried chicken sounds good too.
eating one meal while dreaming about the next. So my friend in San Diego, who's a terrific cook, heard from like someone else about Thanksgiving pierogies, and pierogies are kind of like Polish ravioli, like it's a a baked. It's like a
wonderful.
Pasta?
Yeah, it's like a pasta, like a dough with something cooked inside of it, usually lightly fried, almost like a dumpling.
Mm-hmm.
More like a dumpling than a ravioli, depending on how you cook your ravioli. So somebody had talked about putting mashed potatoes, turkey, a little bit of stuffing, and then like some version of cranberry sauce. And because he's a freak, he cooked up a turkey breast, stuffing, and mashed potatoes the night before. Like he heard about it, ran to the store, and did this at like 10 o'clock at night. Made a Thanksgiving dinner, but not to eat Thanksgiving. Like they all had to sit in their house and listen and like smell the cooking that they weren't going to eat, because the next day he put the leftovers and did the handmade pierogies and filled them with like all the treats of Thanksgiving, and then he did like a cranberry raspberry reduction, and he drizzled it over the top, so it was in like this cranberry raspberry
so
sauce.
good.
Oh, we were fighting over them,
It's like
and of
all in
course his
one.
wife and his daughter were like, what the fuck? Like, why can't we eat that? He's like, no, it's for the pierogies. Like, even though the house smells like Thanksgiving,
Right.
you can't eat any of it
Not till tomorrow.
because we got to treat it like it's leftovers. But I just love that he saw that challenge and was like, oh, I'm fucking down.
It sounds wonderful.
It was absolutely, and it was the craziness of the reduction that he did. This was all while we were in
Cranberry
San Diego
reduction.
for that with raspberries, and then he was mad because his daughter was eating, because she was hungry, because he kept making delicious smelling food and then telling her she couldn't eat it. So she's eating the raspberries with Nutella. Just funny.
Oh. Nutella. What's happening, Marnie?
I don't know. Marnie's like our correspondent from the street.
Marnie, how's that turkey going out there in the street?
I never knew. I swear to God, I thought they could fly.
As God is
Are
my
you trying to
witness.
catch the turkey, Marnie?
I think she is. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. What
Anant
she's-
wanted to
God
know if
is
you were
my
raising
witness.
them.
I thought turkeys could fly.
Still one of the funniest things.
Oh, green bean casserole, Jenny. That sounds good.
It's one of those things that
I love it.
Mom
Yeah.
has
I don't
ma-
care who
Mom has never made it.
bitches about
She's
it.
making it for the first time this year.
Oh, it's so good.
And I always love when everybody brings stuff to Thanksgiving, because I just want turkey and stuffing and gravy. Like, I really don't even want the mashed potatoes.
Well, those are the premier
but
things.
it's just like when we have it at work, whenever the Thanksgiving meal, they do it at the right time. Everybody's like, oh, what sides do you want? I'm like, I went 3 sides of stuffing, and then I can't fit in my shoes for 2 days because my sodium's like 190.
Exactly. You're blacking out.
Wow.
When the sodium.
It's funny, when the show started, I didn't have diabetes. I'm not sure what happened.
Right.
So, Marnie, you're supposed to be killing time and telling us what you did last week, but I think it's
Yeah.
whatever's happening in that kitchen.
She was making mashed potatoes.
By the way, Marnie was kind enough. She brought a big pot of mashed potatoes, but in addition to that, she brought the additional hand masher with her. So if you, because she likes mashed potatoes a little chunkier.
I do too.
And then she decided if you were one who wanted, more creamed potatoes or more mashed potatoes, you could do it yourself.
Yeah, it was very thoughtful.
It's a very DIY project.
thoughtful.
It's very nice, Marn.
And we have G. Brown, who may or may not have given up on us listening, but I don't know where G. Brown is from. That's a
Hi,
new
G.
one. That's a name I have not
I don't know.
seen before.
I don't know.
So good on him.
This is really a shame. Oh God, they can see my plate.
Well, that,
Oh, yeah, come on, go like this.
yeah.
Stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop,
I
and
know,
roll.
right? Oh my God. That's just a lot. But see, I don't go back for a second, so it's okay. Oh, that's fantastic.
Wait,
Wait.
Joe has geese?
Ginny thinks that Joe
yeah.
raises geese.
He says there's geese in his
Why are
backyard.
there geese in your backyard?
Why is there a moose in your
Yeah.
house?
Why is there a moose in your backyard?
I don't know what the hell's going on with that.
I thought he had-
something strange has happened.
Didn't he have ducks? Did they turn into geese? Did something happen? The fuck happened to that duck?
Maybe they were just ugly ducks. They became geese. I don't know.
Oh, and what's your game? Duck, Duck, Gray Swan or some shit?
Duck, duck, gray
Duck, duck, what?
Somewhere in the hinterlands of Minnesota.
That's not a thing, is it?
Yeah.
Up in St. Olaf, where Marnie's from.
St.
Yeah.
Olaf. Sort of pets. Okay.
They call it what, Marnie?
Duck, Duck, Gray Duck.
No. Oh.
She doesn't believe in that.
Well, I've never heard of this gray duck
You fucking
business.
people from the Twin Cities area are crazy.
Okay, now we're plates in here. What is she doing?
I know.
Oh, she found glassware.
What the fuck is that? A Smirnoff Ice what? Watermelon?
Watermelon mimosa.
Well, you're doing it in style.
Holy crap.
I said, if you're gonna go like ghetto, you go all the
Stuffing their
way.
mouths.
With a 40. She brought a
Right.
40, but she
Yeah.
brought a glass.
Well, duh.
She's classy, damn it.
I'm a lady.
Uh-huh.
So
A knot is like
Well,
all they're doing is
I know
stuffing their
one thing that
faces.
we did
yeah,
last week.
one of the coolest things I have come to find out in the entire world is when you meet one of your heroes and they turn out better than you could have ever hoped.
Rare.
Oh, how nice. Who was that?
Sally Field.
I saw your post and I
Oh,
wanted
my
to go
goodness.
so bad.
It was, and I have a couple of pictures that Aaron did not post. That I will send in if you want to put them up at some point, Clayton. Not right now, but
Oh, I'm actually I'm on your Facebook post.
well,
right now.
she didn't put the ones up there that are my favorite because I kind of oddly look like I'm gonna pretend to shoot myself in the head, but that wasn't the thing.
Good.
I didn't
well, that's
know.
good.
No,
Well,
but
that's
that's the way
encouraging.
the picture looks. Like I look like I'm like this, and anyway, I didn't know that I was going there, and so it was a really wonderful surprise. And I had done my hair, and so as I realize what's happening when we're standing in line, I say,
Bingo, there you are.
"Yeah, oh my God, I just love her."
Oh,
and I was,
exciting.
I was
That's
so nervous,
wonderful.
and the fact that like I'm just enamored with the fact that she is holding Aaron's hand, but I was so.
God, she looks really good.
Oh God, she looks fantastic.
She's 71.
Yep.
She looks like
As
she's
of November,
41.
as of November 6th, she's actually 72.
Her skin looks
Oh, okay.
great.
Yep.
I'm way behind on my
Yep.
Entertainment Weekly, so.
No, but it was. She looks fantastic,
A year behind.
Yeah.
No, well, her birthday was the beginning of the
I'm
month.
kidding.
and
The Emmys just happened in my world.
so we
Wow.
were sitting there and in line, and I all of a sudden kind of made this exclamation. I look at Aaron. I said, "Oh my God, I'm meeting Sally Field. I'm meeting Malin." And I have a brown
Malin.
football helmet. I have a brown football helmet right now because my hair is too long.
I'm
and
meeting
it needs to
Norma
get
Ray.
cut. I know, exactly. I kept saying that. on the way out, I'm like, Norma Ray wished me a happy birthday.
Did you stand on a table and cry union?
I was going to, but there
My
were a
favorite
couple
scene in
of
that movie.
police like right there, so I thought, well, I'll just I'm with you, Jenny. Wow, she was it really was.
I've always
something.
loved her. I really wanted to go, but there was no time, and
Yeah.
I thought you have to buy the book.
Right.
And I thought, am I even going to have time to ever read it? And I
Mm-hmm.
just kind of dipped down on it, but I really wanted to meet her.
The line
And what
went.
day was that?
Sunday.
How was
the
the
line went around the
Oh,
building and
wow.
changing
So
hands.
Was
Like,
there a talk?
Nope, she was just signing the book.
Oh,
and,
so she didn't do
and-
any kind of presentation.
Nope, and
Oh, that's
just,
interesting.
But she would spend a couple of minutes chatting. And so when I went up there, I got up there, and Aaron and I were able to go up there together. And Aaron had bought me the book already, right? Like, not just bought it with the ticket, but she had already purchased it. And so
Wow.
she had written in it, happy birthday. And it was this really sweet message. But she did it on the title page where Sally would have signed. And she wasn't thinking. She just had opened it to that. So she kept trying to, like, change the page so that Sally Field didn't have to see, it wasn't anything inappropriate. It was very sweet. It was just the idea. She's like, I wrote on her page.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't have
Like she's
done
gonna
that.
yell at you.
Yeah, right?
Like,
Like,
sign this.
Fuck you.
Yeah, you bitch.
You bitch.
And so
I just want to hit
I know.
something.
They really are. It feels as bad as I do.
That's a
Well,
bell
that's
dinger.
when I was standing as we were walking out. I said, "I'm just so angry right now. I am so mad. I just want to. I want to hit something."
Fine, no daughter, is it?
Shelby's right. He does look like a brown football
I
helmet.
could joke all the way from here to Texas. Shelby can.
Take your choose. So we were. It was just wonderful. So when I got
how
up there, we were talking, Aaron said something about the having written in it, and so Sally Field stops and looks, and is reading it, and she goes, "That's so sweet," and she's like, "Oh, I love that," but the fact that she even took the time
That's so touching. Yeah.
Yeah, very
to
nice.
do that, and then she goes to
Which is
writes
going to sign
whatever.
9,000 more books. So.
Right, and because we were in Group C at the beginning of this whole thing, and there was still a fucking line going out the building and around, still waiting to get in
Wow.
to get their little ticket. So fuck that. Anyway, so then I look up, and I didn't realize someone was behind us taking pictures all the time. We're at suck something in, but we were. So I look at I can't say just Sally. She's Sally Field.
Right.
And
She needs
I
both names.
Totally.
Thus Sally would
yeah.
also do.
It could. That's good.
She needs a definite article.
Mrs.
Malin.
Fields, but don't confuse the cookie
Yeah,
girl.
I know, right? Field. That's why.
Field.
So, anyway, I looked at her and I said, she said, so this was a birthday surprise because it said something in there, happy surprise, happy birthday, hope you, whatever. So I looked up and I said, yeah, I had no idea. And look at, I have a brown football helmet on, and I have a couple of pictures of her kind of looking, and she burst out laughing. And I'm like,
She totally
I made
got it.
Sally Field laugh. Like, I made her, like, it's a genuine.
That's so cool.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's a genuine, she was smiling. She was listening. There was nothing fake about it.
Yeah.
And like you
That's
make one
nice.
of your heroes who's funny as fuck.
If I hadn't have been
Laugh?
hungover as fuck, I would have loved to have done that Sunday,
Yeah.
It was
but I was barely alive.
wonderful. It
And it's
really
so
was.
good.
And then I walked away and she
Because
said,
it's not always like that.
Yeah.
no, you're right. You're right.
You
And there
believe
was,
me.
and I have kind of a story about that later, but it was very. I certainly wasn't gonna correct. I wasn't gonna correct Malin, but she looked up, so she saw the birthday, and it was November 18th, and so she said, and she went to reach out, and she goes, "A fellow Scorpio, happy birthday, whatever." And I said, "Absolutely," and I thought, well, she's not wrong. I mean, I was supposed to be born on Halloween, so I could have been a Scorpio just like her, but I'm a Sagittarius, and I can't go into that whole thing.
Yeah.
So I
Sally Field
Call
was
the
always
affiliates.
right.
We're going late. Well, she explains my mother's birth
walk
plan.
away. I know. Just
She can reorganize astrology. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
totally. I'll be a Scorpio with you.
That's on her.
Right.
Whatever you
So-
gotta do,
Whatever
Sally.
you say.
So
Whatever you say.
do you know what she's reacting to here? Like, what do you do? Do you have any idea?
God, look how
that
good
was
she looks.
That's her reaction to Marnie saying, "I've never been on time to anything." In my
anything.
life.
Yeah, but I was on time to this.
She gets a scholarly. Well, of
I know,
course
right?
you haven't.
But it was really cute. That was like she had just gotten done with the happy birthday and looking at the
Doesn't
message.
she look
whatever.
young? I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
get over this.
Well, and she said to me
God,
when
she
I
looks
said
so
I have the brown
good.
football helmet, she goes, "I wish I had your hair." She said,
Silver?
mine is just flat. Shut it. Yeah, I wanted to be like, you mean you don't want to color yours anymore? But she said, mine is just so flat, and it's just so. And I said, you are just as beautiful right now
Oh,
as
she
you
is.
always have been. And
And I
but
like
it was
that-
such just a sweet exchange. And again, when she like, I didn't realize that. Like at the time, like you're in it, and we were just bantering, kind of. And it was a couple of minutes. Like it was pretty cool. And then I went to walk away, and
Wow.
I got caught up. Dumb, I know, probably, but I was like, like all of a sudden I got
Oh,
all
I would've
choked
cried.
up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Erin looks at me and she says, "Are you gonna cry? Are you okay?" Like she was like, and I'm like, "No!" I'm like, are you kidding me?
Field is my best friend.
I know we're the best. We're besties. It
Wow.
was wonderful, though.
I
mean, it really was. It just was so cool.
That's-
not
And I'm like, I can't believe I didn't ask her about Sam and Adam Rapon. She really wanted them together. And then this, I had so many of the things. I'm so glad I didn't look at her though and say, "Well, life is like a box of chocolates,"
Oh, yeah.
because that would have fucking sucked.
And I bet people
I'd
said
have
stupid
kicked-
shit to her, too.
I'd have kicked myself
Were there
in the
I doubt there were
ass.
people in line there that refer to her only as Frog, because that doesn't seem like something people would.
Yeah.
They would not go
No.
to Changing Hands to get a book from her. You can call her Frog, because
Yeah.
I don't know. I get the Malin.
Yeah.
I get so many other
Yeah.
Gidget. I get so many
Yeah,
other
yeah.
references, but yeah.
Yeah, Norma
Well,
Ray.
she's done so many things. And mine is soap dish.
She really has.
That's
Yeah,
that's the
sure,
that I, like,
absolutely.
Oh my God.
Oh, I just
I would
saw
have loved to have
Mrs.
brought that up
Doubtfire
to
again
her.
the other night.
Mrs. Doubtfire. She was in that Hope. Nope.
Well, she's in my. No one's mentioned it. It's my favorite movie. Al already knows. Places in the Heart.
Oh,
yeah.
sure.
It's
Oscar.
just an
Yeah.
incredible
Yeah.
film,
Yeah,
and I would like to tell her that. So can you call her
not,
up?
And
Yeah.
forget it.
Now that you're friends.
Not without my daughter.
Yeah, that was good too.
Fuck that.
Tanked at the
That
box office,
movie.
but it was
I know.
good.
I
But it was a
loved
good
that
movie.
Yeah, I loved her in that.
Oh yeah, but and one time she was on The View, and somebody said to
Recently, or
a few in the last few years.
Yeah.
And Whoopi's been on there for like 14 years now. So whenever she's been on there, and someone said like, "Oh, you two know each other." They're like you, and they showed the clip from the movie, and Sally Field was like, "Oh my God, I forgot about that movie." Because it's one of those
Isn't
ones
that
they
weird?
but they shot it fast. Like it was one of those ones that they shot in like it's a little comedy on like
Sure.
2 sets.
Yep.
They shot it in like, just a few weeks. There's not a lot of location shooting.
Sure.
They,
But they were in a
Ba-
movie together, and she'd kind of forgotten that.
yeah, they just they've both made enough movies, and that was one that they
Well, they both
put out
and
and
you're
don't really
talking
get
Soap
remembered
Dish.
for. Soap Dish,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that we are keeping that movie alive. I mean,
Oh my God,
love
that's
that
that's
movie.
one of the few movies that I saw. Walked out of the theater, got on the payphone, called somebody, and we just walked back in and watched it
Got
again.
on the payphone. I love that.
Cell phone certainly did not exist back
No.
Well,
then.
they were in Sub Dish together,
Yeah.
That's the movie we're talking
Yep.
about.
right? But you didn't say the name of it. You
Oh well, we've said Soap Dish like 15
no,
times.
I know
No,
that.
but it- in
specific to
referencing, yeah.
specific
Oh,
to
yeah,
that
yeah.
reference, I
Yeah.
wasn't sure which movie.
It would, but anyway, so digress.
Because in my
'cause
mind,
I
I'm just
could
doing all the dialogue from Soap
I'm sure
Dish.
you are.
I look like the goddamn Tweety
What?
Bird.
It, okay, I just really
know who
wanted
They
Norma
to-
don't
and I
have a
wanted-
head anymore. We can't bring them back.
We can't write dialogue for people that don't have a head. People don't like playing comas. They feel it limits their range. Like
Dr.
every
Monica Del Mar.
Monaco. In what world am I her mother?
Well, that was
Do you
wasn't
know who
that the
Norma
other
Desmond
thing?
is? She's dead. I look like Norma Desmond.
That was the other thing,
No,
because didn't
who
she?
played her? Gloria Swanson. I
Listen,
look
she
like
got
goddamn
goddamn
Gloria
Gloria
Swanson.
Swanson.
You know what she is? She's dead.
Actually, I just got to a picture of her in that getup on here. Another movie of hers I
funny.
wanted to see that I'd never seen was Doris.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
what
did-
I-
it was adorable.
not
That's
see
the
it.
one I was trying to think of the name.
It was
Doris.
adorable. That
Yeah.
really was cuter than I expected.
I wanted to see.
And
it.
then her one of her older sons did a movie for Netflix. I think it was called Little Devil. Last year. That I mean, it's about the satanic stepchild of, and it's just fucked up. And about 20 minutes into the movie, Sally Field walks in as like the exorcist kind of kid, like, you know, like the one performing the exorcism, or like, this house is
Sure.
clean from Poltergeist. And I'm like, what the fuck is Sally Field doing in this movie? And then I looked
Well,
and it was
she's
her
short
son.
enough to
No,
be.
she's
Well, her
helping
son
out.
was the
Yeah.
writer-director, so he cast her in like the fun.
Mom, would you do
Right,
a part
right.
in my movie?
Sure.
But honestly, the movie is so like weird and crazy that you could see her reading it and being like, "Is there any way
Yeah.
I
I
could
could
play
do
this
that.
crazy
Yeah.
old lady?" Like,
But that
because
it's
yeah, it goes
everything
both
about
ways.
her.
Sometimes you want the favor, and then sometimes somebody reads the script and like, anything in this part that I can do.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. I can't even. I've met celebrities before, and I'm you know, you're kind of like, oh my god, and I've been in that same exact bookstore when I was right next to Mr. Rick Springfield, whom I love. We walked out, and Aaron's like, "You weren't this excited to meet Rick Springfield." I'm like, "No." What is wrong with you?
Sally has her original face.
Yeah, still,
She
yeah.
looks so good.
Rick
She
Springfield
really
does not.
And all I could think was, I just wanted to. I think it was Ellen, back in the day, that had made a comment about like who you could have lunch with, or who you could have, you know, sit down and have a meal with. If you could pick anyone.
oh,
and
mine would be
whatever.
her and Goldie Hawn. Like, I would love to just
Goldie
go
Hawn,
I just
sure.
because I think they're just
Sure.
both like effortlessly nice people that would be charming to chat with.
Right, and that's how like I wanted to take her next door to Paradise. Is Paradise Bakery? I think is like right next door, and I thought, oh, we could just go over there and have iced tea and just hang out.
She probably would.
Yeah, have a you know, it was just so fun.
fun
And
is-
she's
yeah.
so authentic.
Right, and it was really.
I read
would
an
never
article with
thought
her.
of
She
Goldie
said
Hawn.
that one time. She said, "I believe a lot of the success of my career is that I'm just a very nice person."
Oh,
Isn't that lovely?
And
Yeah,
people want
she
to
said,
work
"I'm
with-
just nice."
And
She's
people wanna
stuck out,
work with
she's
you
not a
again.
fucking bitch.
Yeah.
You know.
well, Erin said, how could she, like, make this much small talk? And I said, I think she is one of the people
She's just like
that realizes too that she's been doing this since she was 18.
Oh, younger than
And
that.
no, I thought she was 18 when she got first cast.
Oh, I don't know. I thought she was younger than that with Gidget and the Flying Nun and all that stuff.
No, she looked like she was 8, but I don't think so.
Yeah, it could be, but still a child star. Like,
But absolutely. But she was, you know, she's one of the people that realizes I'm a star because of all of you guys too. Like she realizes the
yeah,
fans
right.
and whatever else. And I think she was a fan for so many people. That
right.
She just and it comes naturally. Just comes
Actually,
naturally.
she said Sally Field said that, Jenny, about herself when asked about her career.
One of the things with Rosie O'Donnell is she talks about being a fan and meeting celebrities and like
Right.
she always takes the time. She just doesn't want to sign anything.
Okay.
She's always weird about signing stuff, but she's like,
Doesn't
I'll
walk
talk
that
to
long.
you.
Jack Nicholson won't sign anything.
Yeah, but I'm happy to
Interesting.
talk to
They
you.
don't
I'll
like
meet with
autographs.
you, but I'm just not in the mood to like because
because people sell them.
Of course.
Oh.
No, it's a whole thing. A lot of stars are like, I will not sign anything because you're going to go sell it. So
Okay.
if you want a picture with me,
Right.
great.
Yeah.
But nobody, like autographs are like from the past now.
Sure.
But dumb people still want them.
Yeah, and I never know what to do with them. Like every once
Right.
in a while, I'll be somewhere with like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, if you sign that, do I have to keep that? Like, because in my mind, I'm like, I gotta dust that motherfucker.
I'd rather have the picture.
And and I never think of that either because I'm like, what am I gonna look at that?
Oh, I totally would.
We saw Jesus Christ
I'm with
Superstar
you, Jenny.
like in 2000, whenever that revival was, and the guy that came out there played Jesus that I thought was really good, and we were talking, and he was like, "Oh, do you want me to sign your program?" I'm like, I guess as Jesus.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I don't know if I'll ever hear of you again.
Right.
You were terrific, but and and most of them just some of them are just standing there like signing things, and then
Right.
some
Yeah.
people come out and they're like, they'll just say something nice and talk as they go down the line,
Sure. Well, and Whoopi
or like
Goldberg is like
Mario Lopez, who signed every single thing handed to
Oh.
him after a
Wow.
chorus line.
I
mean,
have some
he-
things Mario Lopez could sign.
Oh my God, he
Oh,
stood there.
yeah.
I have never seen anybody
for about 45 minutes.
spend that much time.
sure.
I'd probably
it
need
was
about
it was
6.
forever, and
Wow.
every person of color, old woman of color that was in that line, no
Yeah.
matter what color they were, he stayed.
Oh,
and
that's so
talked.
great to hear.
And I was
For-
like, "This is a matinee. You got another show."
Yeah.
For book signing, the only one that I went to that I recall, and I think it's only been the one, Years and years ago, I had a roommate I lived with named Bill Holmes, and Bill Holmes was a very, very big Greg Louganis fan.
Oh.
And years ago, when he had his book Breaking the Surface
Yeah.
came out, right here at Central and Camelback, there was a bookstore. I think it was the Obelisk. Was that where Obelisk was? Bill was a flight attendant for Southwest, and he could not get his schedule fixed because he wanted to be here to meet him.
Sure.
So I went and bought the book for Bill, and then went and stood in line and had Greg sign it to Bill.
Oh, that's so nice.
So, obviously I don't have that book anymore or anything, but that was the only. But again, meeting him, I was like,
Oh, mine, yeah.
wow, you're just. I mean, he was just because he's older. The gray had started in with him, and it's like you're
So
such a good-looking man.
Such a, yeah.
Oh,
mine
yeah,
mine
he
was
was always
Harvest and
handsome.
Moppet, and then I realized I vacation with him every summer. So the thrill is gone
Yes.
there. But
For him or you?
Yeah, right?
Well, I think for both of us. When we both decided that the last cab ride was going to be way too much for 1 week.
I think
But and
Winona
he
would
did
be
a,
cool,
he
too.
did a reading from Anna Madrigal and Odd. I think it was called Anna Madrigal something, whatever whatever the last book was. And he did the reading from it, and then afterwards you could do it. And I was like, give me the book. I got all the rest of them. So I guess it was before I had jumped into the reading on here.
Sure.
Because now I'd be like, what are you gonna do? Sign the
Well,
screen?
and that was the thing that was so sweet because Aaron didn't realize because I have it on Audible. Like the day it came out, I got In Pieces on Audible.
Sally Field's book, In Pieces.
Right. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Yes.
Got it.
And so I was like, what do I do now? Because
Yeah.
I felt bad because I haven't started it yet. But I kind of.
cares?
No, but I just, because you already have it and then spending the
Right,
money.
but you
then
don't-
you still
but
need
the
things
experience.
you still need things to line your
But to be able
bookshelves
to
for when
pull,
people
right,
come over.
to be able to
'Cause-
pull that off the shelf and be like, look, she signed it to
Yeah.
me.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. And when I go to people's houses, if they still have them, I look at the book like, what do you read?
Sure. What are you reading? Sure.
When I accidentally broke into Napolitano's house, and I was like,
right.
what's she reading?
You should always. Or
I
if-
was
or if
helping
they
move a
read.
table.
I'm sure you were. Yeah.
She knew about it. She just didn't know I was going to be there looking at her reading collection. Hopefully,
Because
she's not a listener.
or if they even read at all, if they don't have any books. The one that directed Pink Flamingos, John Waters.
Sure.
He always said, if you go to anybody for a one night stand, you go to anybody's house, they don't have books, don't fuck them. That's what he said.
They could be illiterate.
They don't.
Wow.
I know.
We used to have
share that with you.
big shelves out in the living room and had all the books on it and had everything. And it was so much to fucking dust that I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, I finally went through.
I have like one shelf in my room now. And I'm like,
Yeah,
that's it.
I emptied out. I had like 3 bookshelves, and I brought boxes of them to wherever I donated them, and that was hard. Like I felt like I was.
Abandoning children.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
That's what Aaron will say too. Like it's like abandoning children with the books. And I'm like, what?
Go ahead.
That was.
I'm about ready to start that segment. So,
Okay.
I'll hurry that.
No. Read the headlines, and then we'll take a break. Right? We'll do.
oh, do you want to do a full break? Oh, I wasn't ready for that. I thought we were just going to go right into.
I wasn't ready for that.
Oh, stand by. Well, now I've got to build the break. So hang on
Well,
just a
well,
second.
do what you gotta do then.
Okay, keep talking about something else. Who else have you met in person that you
Well, I have a huge one.
have?
But I-
Well,
that
I
you already
think
have?
that's personal.
I could talk about it forever. Yeah, when I met Kate Winslet was life-altering moment for
sure.
me.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she was wonderful.
Oh,
By the way, that
Nance.
did not disappoint.
I love a Nant. Look what he has up there.
Oh, Annette, that's
Aw.
very sweet.
You're sweet.
Oh, for
That's
crying out
fantastic.
loud! You've got the job. Quit. Oh, my God.
We'll send the money. Care
So
of.
when you were talking about authenticity,
Yep.
and if we're going to go there now and just talk about
Go
famous
ahead.
people that we met, so nice and so authentic. And it wasn't like a book signing. I actually met her at the Mildred Pierce premiere for HBO.
Okay.
So it was a little bit of, as
That's
a,
where
as
that picture is?
Yes,
Yeah.
the Facebook profile pic is me and my wife, Kate Winslet, and my best friend and wife.
Yeah.
And it was a different dynamic, as my friends explained to me, because I was actually invited. Well, I was a plus
we'd
one,
love
but
it.
invited to the event. So it wasn't like, oh, I ran into her walking down the street, which did now in hindsight add a different. Like I was
Sure.
in her mind supposed to be there for some reason, right?
Right, yeah.
Right, yeah.
You know, so they're kind of careful. They were like, oh, I was like, well, that was. They're like, they never know if you're like a writer or producer.
Oh,
so
okay,
when you're at
okay.
something like that, and everybody's very, very nice to everybody.
okay.
But she was authentic, and she swore like a sailor,
I love
which
that.
I just loved.
I think that's
but she was like
fantastic.
a very regular person.
Okay.
And my friend Catherine and her husband had photographed her before, so she remembered them, and so they made an introduction. The night that I was there was my birthday, so it
Okay.
was really cool. So they pulled her aside, and it was, because when they're at premieres, they're still working. That was what it was explained to me. They're still
Oh,
on the
yeah.
clock,
Sure.
But we did it. We got her before the big crush, and I just said I would love to get a picture with you later. And she was like, "Oh, let's just do it right now,"
Okay.
So I talked to her, told her I loved Joan Crawford, the book, loved her, loved Kate Winslet, and she was so just regular, nice,
I love it.
charming person.
And not like looking past you.
No, not at all.
Right.
No.
That's the thing that
And I
that was
told
so
her.
cool.
So I said,
Yeah.
well, tonight is really special for me for more than one reason. I've always wanted to meet you. I said, but it is my birthday.
Right.
I was trying to be humorous. I said,
Sure.
so if you don't mind, I'd like to pretend tonight, if you're okay with this, that this party is also for me. And you know what she said? No, I did. And do you know?
I love it.
No. And you know what she said to me? She goes, "Oh, fuck yes."
That's
I know.
Awesome.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
forget
That's
it.
why I love her.
I'd have cried.
I
I'd have been
know.
crying.
I know. She was like,
Fuck
"Oh my
yeah.
god!" And she goes, "Happy birthday!" She's like, "That's amazing." And she's like, "Fuck yes." And so then Mark, my friend Catherine's husband, Mark, is a photographer. So he had the phone, and I just wanted the picture. I'm like, everything happened so great. I'm like, I don't want to be clingy. Just
Yeah.
let her go.
Yeah.
I've got it. I'm happy. I can
Yep.
die happy now.
The eagle has
And-
landed. Lee has landed.
Yeah, and Mark's like gets the camera, and she's like, well, let's do the picture now. I said, if you do it later, she's like, it'll be too crazy later. Just
Right.
let's do it now. So he gets out, and I swear to God, I wanted to just die. He starts directing her. And I'm like, just take the fucking picture. And he's like,
Who do you think
and
you are,
he
James
even said,
Cameron?
he's like, Kate, he's like, you need to move right. There's the thing behind your head. I'm like,
Oh my
I'm
God.
inside, I'm screaming, like, don't
Yeah.
fucking piss her
But
off.
don't you think she appreciates
No, she.
that?
This is the punchline. Yes.
Oh.
That's exactly
'Cause
right.
she doesn't wanna look
no,
like an idiot in the
no.
picture.
And my friend Catherine told me because I was out of my mind. But Catherine said she, and because she doesn't know where that photograph is going to go.
Right, right.
And talk about turning it on. So she would keep in mind how just absolutely down to earth, regular she was. And the minute he took that picture, and this is another thing I really admire, or just love about her, she turned on star power like you can't fucking believe. 2 seconds before that she was like this, and the minute he just look at the picture on my Facebook, and you'll see she turned on movie star right then. And I said to Catherine, I'm like, that is amazing. She's like, well, she knows that picture could go anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
And
true.
then the
Yep.
second it was off, she was like, okay. She's like, well, anyway, blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
Right,
I'm going
right.
to go now. And it was like, it was just, she's such a
love it.
professional, right?
Yeah.
But she probably knew, probably because it was a good picture for me to have. But also, Catherine was like, well, don't fool yourself. She knows that can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. And you want to know,
Sure.
like, where is
That's
the light?
smart.
Where is the light hitting me? Am I standing in a shadow?
Yeah.
Oh no, she was
Do I have
thrilled. She
something
was like,
behind
"Oh,
me?
good,
Yeah.
like professional." And that picture is just.
And anytime you
amazing.
get somebody that really does photographs, will tell you, okay, no, move your
And
head.
he was.
Head up,
he
chin
was
down,
like,
do
that's
this, do
exactly
that.
what
Yeah.
he was doing. He's like,
Tits
no.
up, shoulders back.
He's like,
Come on.
He's, and I'm just like, don't
Turn
I was
slightly.
afraid she was gonna get mad and walk off or something, But so that is a wonderful story. And I also met
That's
Felicity
wonderful.
Huffman in a different way,
Oh.
who I loved, and really I gotta say was not the friendliest person in the world.
Really? Okay.
But I wonder if she's just shy or what. I met her at a Phoenix Film Society premiere of Transamerica,
Yeah.
and I think that was more like I was just a fan.
Yeah.
Oh, Al, you'll love this because that's what she did to me. So the morning of that premiere, the Golden Globe nominations came out that morning. And so I thought, I'm going to impress her.
Yeah.
She just got off the plane, and I said, I really want to, when I met the head of the Film Society, it introduced me to her. That we were all in a big group. And I said, I want to be the first person to congratulate you on being nominated for both Desperate Housewives and Transamerica.
Sure.
She was like, oh, thank you. She was so nice. And we were walking over to the event, and I said, now what's next is that you need the Oscar nomination. And she looked at me and she goes, can you work on that for me? And she was yeah. It was really charming. But I will say this just as an observation, and I still
Right.
love her. She seemed very like, I'm at a thing that I'm doing, and she seemed very standoffish. Like,
Oh, I mean, those
I don't
festival
like,
movies,
don't
they-
let those people come near me.
Yeah.
Kind of
Those
feeling.
festival things are just a grind.
And-
the same questions over and
And
over
Lamont
and
was
over
like
again.
holding like on her arm, but she was very, I don't know, she was reserved, and
sure.
it was just a really weird vibe that I got from her. And then this is what she did, and I think Al, you'll find this very interesting, and it irritated the shit out of me. But I said, well, after the Oscar thing, I said, well, it's just so great to meet you. I'm so glad you're here. I said, I'm a huge fan of Desperate Housewives. You're amazing. I said, you're so talented, whatever. And she looked at me and she goes, God bless you. And that's that thing, Joan Crawford. It's the
Yeah.
thing that movie stars
Oh.
say when you're an asshole and they don't know what to say. She said, she's like, God bless you. And I was like, the fuck are you? God bless me. Like,
Right.
what?
Well,
like,
like-
couldn't you just say thank you? Or
Right, right.
so that really irritated me.
Okay.
And so, but whatever. But she was very.
But like
cool.
Dolly Parton always says, her standard answer to it is, I appreciate that.
Oh, okay.
That's her God
I
bless
should
you.
get over myself.
Yeah, a
then.
little bit. Because I'm like,
Oh.
God bless you. Like, that's
But
a-
it was like,
Sure.
because
Yeah.
Joan Crawford said that's what I said to people when I don't know what to say to
Well,
stupid
she would
people.
say how
Yeah.
kind, and she should say how kind people are. How kind people are.
How kind people.
You know what I I
God,
say
no.
or do?
Joan Crawford said, "God bless."
When I'm trying to get out of a segment or something like that, I just do this. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our headline teaser
That was
into
wonderful.
our second hour, which is now like our third hour. Who knows what the hell? But here's headlines we're going to talk about. They're up to their ass in toilet paper.
Oh my God! Headline. I'm
Marnie,
sorry.
go.
I'm sorry. I was
She's
blanked out.
really just a bitch.
Just don't eat the lettuce.
Pancakes help snag an escapee.
There's something called Weed Wednesday.
Nope.
Reenactments.
And somebody else goes down in Michigan.
And turn left at the camel. These stories coming up, I guess, pretty much after this break. We're going to go get some more food. We're going to talk to you more in just a few minutes. It's the show on a Tuesday night. Thank you all for being here. Stick around, won't you?
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
You're listening to Q Talk America.
Educates, syncopates, radio communicates, radio, the sound of year-round pleasure.
This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
And just like that, we're back on track. It's the beginning of hour 2, our B block on this Tuesday night. It's our pre-Thanksgiving show. So please excuse our eating more than normal in Studio C on this Tuesday night. Tuesday night, Kat Carlson has the night off. She's actually traveling to family that she's going to be visiting with on Thursday. She's doing her Thanksgiving there. Along with us tonight for the ride is Doug Wilkie, who's in the kitchen right now. Marnie Ryer's right there. Al Perkins rounds out the cast, and me. I'm Clayton McKee, but really the show is yours, the humble listener. We give
If
this
that's
to
how
you.
you self-identify.
We give this to you each and every week on Q Talk America. By the way, we are the only show on this network, so if you're looking for something else, good luck to you. This is our B block where we do our headlines. So we're going to start with this story. Officials in Alabama County have a financial mess to wipe up after the sheriff's department mistakenly ordered 24,000 extra rolls of toilet paper. WAFTV reports that Marshall County Sheriff's Office mistakenly spent $22,000 on toilet paper and another $9,000 for 450 cases of trash bags. Now that's a real big problem down there because its entire budget for janitorial supplies for the next year is only $15,000. County commissioners have negotiated a bill of more than $30,000 down by about half, but there's still another problem. Where the hell are they going to store all this stuff? Well, the sheriff's department isn't commenting. Commission Chairman James Hutchison says workers realized the mistake when a notice came in from the vendor. The newly elected sheriff, Phil Sims, says he will work with commissioners to address the problem. I guess if you're ordering stuff online, you have to really be careful what you click and what your quantities are.
Right?
My gosh. Don't drink and Prime. Amazon Prime there.
Hey, it's good advice.
Yes.
Thank you for adding the Amazon.
Sure. Mr. Wilkie.
Well, pot dispensaries are expecting higher sales on Weed Wednesday. You've heard of Black Friday,
Yeah.
Small Business Saturday,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
Giving Tuesday.
Right.
Well, guess what?
Cyber Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Thursday is supposed to be all about turkey, but Wednesday is apparently all about THC. Cannabis industry insiders are predicting a sales high sales high. Do you love that? As pot smokers stock up on supplies before the Thanksgiving holiday. I mean, this makes so much sense.
Gotcha.
Sharon Sharavi, the director of customer communications at Ease, a company that delivers cannabis products in California. I still can't get over that you can have pot delivered. It's just crazy.
Right.
Expects to handle nearly double the deliveries of a typical Wednesday based on past results. Last year, Ease saw a 98% increase in deliveries on Green Wednesday compared to compared to a typical Wednesday in 2017. Wow. Sharavi told Huffington Post by email, "We expect this year's holiday week to have a similar spike too, especially since so many Americans are becoming more open to cannabis consumption, particularly in California since legalization in January." That spike comes with a risk of shortages, especially in states like Massachusetts, which on Tuesday will become the first state east of the Mississippi where pot is legal.
wow. Okay.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I didn't realize
Sam Barber of Cultivate, a dispensary in Leicester, told WCB-TV it's possible that demand will initially outpace the supply. Obviously, there's an immense demand, and we've been preparing for a while to help meet this, but again, we can't make any guarantees about how long our supply will last. Some industry insiders say shortages and long lines at dispensaries are possible, even in states like California, where marijuana has been legally available since the first of the year. We're seeing shortages every day these days as interest continues to grow.
So are they? So obviously, I realize that Thursday is a holiday. So I'm wondering, does it spike every day before a holiday as we go through the year? Like, is July 3rd a
Yeah.
real big one?
How much are you supposed to eat? Well, no, that'd be good for the fireworks.
October
The
30th?
fireworks would be better.
Right.
High.
No, like, is October 30th a good one too?
No, Halloween would be better. Fun high.
Mentions anything about it? I'm not seeing.
Are you
it.
going to tell me that there's not going to be a good day, Al? Is there any one of those days
Oh
that's
my
not going to be
God,
good?
Clayton, you've got to hear this. Dennis Hunter of Cannacraft, a California-based brand of medical cannabis products, says he's seeing high sales in discrete cannabis products like edibles and soft gels that can be consumed under the radar at family functions. Thanksgiving is a mixed bag of emotions, and some customers are looking to cannabis for stress relief during the busy holiday, and others are in the giving spirit and looking to share products they love with their loved ones. But with great pot comes responsibility. There's risk that some people might overindulge, especially if they aren't used to being stoned. So start in a low dosage and go slow. Patience is key to enjoying cannabis and finding what's right for you. The real question is, with a rise in cannabis sales for Thanksgiving, will we see a decrease in leftovers?
That's fantastic.
That's a fair question.
Yeah.
You fuckers are all coming to my house.
Right.
Hi, and eating all my food. I want turkey leftovers.
I need
tomorrow.
leftovers,
There you
yes.
go. That can be very dangerous. Very dangerous. Well,
On a related note, I did see, have you seen on NBC News this week, pot weddings? People
shut
are
up.
in California, of course. Pot smokers that are getting married are smoking it like when they're doing their vows and having all their like
Dude,
family
I love
smoke.
you.
Yeah, it's a pot
Love
wedding.
you so much.
Yeah, exactly.
But why? Okay, forgive me for not understanding.
No.
What's the point of that? Is there some sort of a whole?
we
They love marijuana.
No,
I
I'm just
guess.
thinking, is there some kind of a holistic belief within it that it creates it does
Or
something?
is it
It
like,
didn't look like it. It just
They're
looked
just
like
super calm that way.
they
and,
just
like,
want
we're
to
high
celebrate.
when
They
we-
wanted pot to be
Yeah.
part of the celebration.
No.
They didn't want cake left over.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it could be one where you don't want drunk people at the wedding. You know what I mean?
They
No.
ordered a Costco cake, and they were like, "We gotta get rid of this shit." There's a lot about.
One of my
Stoned in a sugar high.
Yeah.
One of my favorite David Sedaris stories is when one of his sisters gets married, and they moved to North Carolina like midway through their childhood, and so one of them became like, kind of born again and went on the wagon, and so told the family that they were going to have a non-alcoholic wedding because they didn't want to have one of those kind of weddings. And David Sedaris' mom goes, "Oh, you mean the kind where people have fun?"
I'm gonna say, as I'm not going to that wedding.
Nope. No, sir.
Is that
that's
the kind you
great.
mean?
That. Oh.
So Jenny is saying that Santa Barbara County supervisors still have not licensed one shop to sell cannabis because depending on what state it is, sometimes it's city by city, sometimes it's county by county, whether or not they will.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but they're telling her to get her medical
because they
marijuana
have
license.
they don't have recreational places in Santa Barbara. So if she wants to purchase in the county of Santa Barbara, which is a very large county, that she has to go the medical route because they're not going to authorize.
Well, that's some bullshit.
Right. I mean, like
But if the
Colorado.
whole state says.
No, but then you go. Who could? They can't arrest you, but what county or what city? Like in Colorado, it's city by city.
Yeah.
So Colorado Springs doesn't sell it, but whatever that little city is next door, Seven
Pueblo,
Springs,
send all of your mail to.
No, I mean,
Pueblo.
but it's like Glendale, Peoria. You know what I mean? Like it's that small of a difference.
Al sure knows a lot about this
He sure
topic
does.
in
I don't-
Colorado, doesn't he?
Probably from being a nurse.
Well, sure.
Travel enthusiasts. I ask about
Because Al doesn't indulge in anything like that. so.
the
At
funny
all.
thing was in Vegas we never saw any. Like I never saw a dispensary, and supposedly it's the new big thing, and it's
Well, it's
everywhere.
everywhere.
But I didn't see it.
Or
We
smell
were
it.
in casinos. I don't, I
I've walked up and down the strip so many times over the years, and I'm like, it's just everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Well,
When I was in San Francisco,
maybe
I
they
could smell
just
it
have
walking
them-
down the street.
When I went to
Oh,
Colorado
San-
years ago, when they first legalized in Colorado, I had to go to Charlie's in
remember
Denver,
that.
and I was like, holy crap, it's everywhere.
Oh
Right.
yeah, I mean the other day here, outside of my friend's apartment complex, and he lives in one of those big new apartment. He's moving, but he lives in one of those big new apartment complexes. And so, like, you're standing in front of this glass wall,
Yeah.
and like it was just coming down. I'm like, somebody is taking bong hits from hell up there. And it's just kind of funny with
Whole
like
city block
vaping
can
and all
smell
that
it.
stuff. Like, there's no reason to have to smell it.
oh right.
Like with vaping,
Right.
none of it smells.
Well,
or
and that's
edibles
what
and all that
Aaron
stuff. Like,
had to have they had to have it like an in-service kind of thing because of the fact that middle schoolers.
yeah, they call it
And-
oil.
Yeah,
Vape-
and they're
there's vape day.
doing the vaping, and they have, they went through all of
Crazy.
the things that look like, so the kids could have. They have highlighters, they have a mouse, like so they have this, and I mean this isn't one. Obviously, I really suck at it if it was, but
Maybe you need to be high.
you maybe. But you
Tune in next week
It's
to see
something, it's something like this, and then it comes apart, or like where the little flash thing would go. That's where they can put the oil
Put
in.
the
And
stash.
Yeah.
so
who
they're
knows?
sitting in class.
Good lord.
Wow.
Yeah,
and it doesn't smell.
right, right. So now that they know what to look for, the kids. Aaron said, "Yeah, we had an in-service thing on that," and she said, "I saw a couple of my kids just kind of want to swallow
Well,
themselves."
don't you think that all of a sudden you see a kid going,
No, because it's not like it's like that. Like on the bottom of that where the wireless thing would go.
yeah.
That's where apparently the thing is.
The vape pen is. So they're not. It's hidden in the mouse, right?
Right,
and they
right,
take
right.
it out and hit off it and put it back there so you don't see it.
Right. Yep.
All right.
I mean,
Just like
it's-
that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's-
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Right.
We don't want to.
I don't know. I don't know.
And now when you go like at the patio at Charlie's the other day,
Oh, yeah.
like there's people smoking and then there's the vapors. And you're like, all right, people,
Right.
Mama knows.
We know what's happening. now.
Right. Well, Speaking of people that are just actually really bitchy.
Oh,
Outside of this room?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my point.
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by this.
Sally Field really is a bitch.
Oh no. How the times have changed.
I know. Just this
Just
quickly.
from last hour to this hour.
I know, just this quickly.
God.
So there was a service. Exactly. This just in.
No.
Sally Fields a bit.
Breaking Gidget news.
That's right. The flying nun is a cunt.
Nice. Wow.
That took a turn.
I wasn't ready for that. I'm sorry. Oh, God damn it.
Oh, well, it's
Wow.
sad, but maybe true.
Ooh.
Sally Field liked her. She really liked her, according to this waitress.
About that.
I forgot about that, too.
That actually wasn't her quote.
I know.
Which is very
Al and I have
interesting.
talked about this a million
yeah,
times.
Really like
yeah. You like me right now.
At this moment,
Yeah,
you like
you
me.
like me.
Or I can't deny the fact that you like
Yeah,
me.
but otherwise, it's just funny how it gets. Anyway, the person writing this is a server, and she says, "I've waited on famous people before. I've served Hillary Clinton once at a fundraiser in Chappaqua, and then another time I served Bill Clinton at a 9/11 event. Once I served the actor who played Palmer Cortland on All My Children. Do you remember
Yeah,
him? I
yeah.
totally do. Yeah. What he was doing at a Houlihan's, I'll never know. But the ascot he was wearing clashed with the decor of the room. I was once famously poked by Connie Chung while catering, and I gave her husband Maury Povich a cheese ball. I get to add to my list of celebs who have graced my station because the Flying Nun flew into the booth number 3 last week and knocked me over with her presence. Yes, Sally Field lowered her expectations and sat in my station. When I saw her name on the reservation book, I was excited about the possibility of finally meeting Carrie from Smokey and the Bandit.
That's Frog, right?
Frog is,
Yeah,
yes.
yep. Once she said hello to me, I would only be 1 degree of separation from Burt Reynolds. Blech. At 10 minutes before showtime, Gidget herself showed up. At first, I thought it was weird that she was carrying both of her Oscars with her, but I decided that I would do the same thing if I had 2 of those bitches. I'd be wearing them as earrings, maybe. Anyway, she plopped them onto her table and then dug into her huge purse. She eventually pulled out 3 Emmy Awards and a Golden Globe and placed them around the table. I gingerly approached to take her order. Good evening. How are you tonight? She ignored me. Can I get you anything to drink? I asked. She looked at me with a hint of sweetness I saw in steel magnolias and snarled at me. Don't you know who I am? Yes, ma'am. You're Sally Field. That's 2-time Academy Award winner, Sally Field. And everybody knows what I drink. Go Google that shit and figure it out, you lazy bitch of a waiter. I was impressed that although we had only just met, she knew me oh so well.
You bitch of a waiter.
And bring me a bottle of Grey Goose for my friends here. She motioned to the awards with 6 glasses. I don't like to drink alone. A quick Google search revealed that Ms. Field's favorite drink was a double Johnny Walker Black with 4.5 ice cubes and a twist.
4.5.
I went back to her table with her drink, the vodka, and 6 glasses. Is there anything else I can get for you right now? She fixed her eyes on me and tilted her head in the way that she did in Forrest Gump when she was talking to Tom Hanks. Yes, she said very softly. There is something else you can get. You can get the hell out of my fucking space, you muppet-headed asshole. I backed away, tried to hold back the tears. I loved Sally Field since I was a little boy. I loved her in Soap Dish. When she said, I look like Gloria fucking Swanson. I loved her in Sybil when she was crazy as a bedbug. And I even loved her in Boniva commercials when she's talking too much about bone density.
I believe your bones are brittle.
But now here she was in the flesh, and she was being horrible to me. How can someone seemingly be so nice, be so mean? I avoided her table for the rest of the night because I figured if she needed anything, she would make sure her presence was known. At one point, she needed to go to the restroom. I told her where it was, and she looked at me like she was waiting for me to do something for her. Oh, please, don't make me go wipe your butt for you, I thought. She stared at me with glassy eyes. Yes, ma'am? I asked. Where's my seat filler? I'm sorry, what? My seat filler. Whenever I get up to go somewhere, someone is supposed to sit in my seat while I'm gone and keep it warm. Jesus fucking Christ. Get your ass out there and keep my goddamn seat warm, you lazy bitch of a waiter. Again, I was happy that she really did seem to know me so well. It's almost done. I went to her booth to keep her seat warm. While there, I touched all 6 of her awards. The Oscars really are heavier than you'd think, and the Emmys were beautiful. The Golden Globe looked a little cheap, but it was still impressive.
It really
does
does
look
look like a
cheap.
doorstopper.
I noticed that the bottle of Grey Goose was almost empty. She stumbled back to the booth and waved me out of the way. Finally, it was time to give her a check. I was so ready for the celebrity encounter to be a thing of the past. She gave me a $100 bill and told me to keep the change. Meaning it was about an 8% tip. It was disappointing, but at that point, I just wanted Sally Field out of my life. I had given her so much over the years, and all she had given me in return was evil. I mean, I even sat through Punchline in 1988.
Oh, that was rough.
After she was gone, we all talked about how unlike her public persona she is. All that kindness she exhibits on Brothers and Sisters, which was just one of my all-time favorite shows, is truly just acting. I guess that's why she has 2 Oscars. Oh, well. Thanks for bursting my bubble, Sally Field. I don't like you. I really don't like you. And now the truth. She did come in. She was very sweet. When I asked her what she'd like, she said, "I'm so boring. Just a glass of Chardonnay. Thank you so much. Genuine, kind, warm, and just as nice as you'd hope." And she left me a 25% tip. But the version above was much more interesting to read, wasn't it? It was way more fun to write. So it was so funny when I saw that, and I thought, yeah, that's exactly the polar opposite of everything it was. So.
The first
Nice.
time I didn't feel it,
Oh.
but this time I feel it, and I can't deny the fact that you like me. Right now, you like me.
I love that. I thought it was charming.
Yeah.
Very. That's awesome, Clayton.
How?
So don't eat romaine lettuce. I mean, just from.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to
From-
bring you a Caesar salad tonight.
Yeah, right. and someone mentioned this. So the CDC and everybody from
everyone.
every corner of
Everybody.
World.
has just decided that this E. coli strain that's going on.
Don't back up over your coat because you just dropped it. But it's all right.
That this E. coli strain is just deadly. It's killing people.
Yeah.
I got it.
It's everywhere.
His purse fell down.
Yeah.
His coat. Just
It
throw it
all
over there.
fell apart.
So many of the things.
Nobody's going into
There was some kind of gravy on my glasses. That's what I was trying to get away from.
Hang it on this door, 'cause
That's off.
there you go.
Okay, so
Look at, God damn it, Al.
Useful. That's very useful.
it is always because of the gravy that got on my glasses.
All right.
So, which must be on my arm. Where is it?
Good night, Irene.
I don't know. Somewhere
This
somewhere
bitch.
there's gravy and it's getting on everything.
2018, the year that gravy killed Al Perkins.
You
Yeah.
lazy bitch of a waitress.
I'm just telling you. Give up
Jenny,
rum-
you cannot eat romaine lettuce, as Al is about to tell you.
So
Yep.
the problem is the
You
small
will die.
farmers that are not using the pesticides and not doing all the crazy stuff. You could probably still eat it for them, but they have to. But they won't sell it. Nobody's going to sell it. Like no
Right.
market is going to
No
sell
one's
it.
taking
They're
that
taking
chance.
it off the. They're taking it off all markets right now. 32 people, including 13 who've been hospitalized, have been infected with the outbreak strain in 11 states. One of the hospitalized people developed hemolytic uremic syndrome, a potentially life-threatening form of kidney failure. No deaths
Lord.
have been reported. People have become sick in California, Connecticut, Illinois, Massachusetts, Maryland, Michigan, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Ohio,
Everywhere.
and Wisconsin. The Public Health Agency of Canada has identified an additional 18 people who have become sick of the same strain in Ontario and Quebec. The U.S. FDA also investigating. If you have any at home, just throw it away. I mean, if they're being so blunt with this. Like,
Yeah.
it's over, game's
Yeah.
over, never eat it
Throw
again.
out your lettuce.
Wow.
The FDA commissioner said Tuesday that it's frustrating that the FDA cannot tie the outbreak to a specific grower. But we have confidence that it's tied to romaine lettuce. Most of the romaine lettuce being harvested right now is coming from the California region, although there's some lettuce coming in from Mexico. But the one from earlier in the year that they got got under control was from Yuma in Arizona.
Right.
So, I mean, it's crazy that they took care of. There it is. So it's crazy that they took care of this one in the Yuma thing, and then it just went
Right.
nationwide,
Yeah.
and now
Right.
it's just everywhere, and it's all over the country.
Oh, they're gonna find out that romaine is resistant to a bunch of shit, and it just
Sure.
all went bad.
Everything's resistant.
Yeah, it all went. Yeah.
And plus, you have all these crazy shit with pesticides,
Hey,
and
meow.
what you're gonna use.
Temporarily located in further north Minnesota. Meow cow, that's funny. And I like the aloha because at first I thought you were
Sure.
going to say you were from Hawaii, but no, you're in further north Minnesota.
So,
Fantastic.
I mean, a Caesar salad has just become a thing of the past. It's
For
something
now.
you tell your
Right.
children about because you ain't never eaten one again.
And
I
you
mean-
love Caesar salad.
Oh, I do. I love it.
Yeah.
Everything.
I used to have a Caesar haircut.
Oh, very nice.
In
Yes.
1994.
Unrelated.
So the other weird thing about the E. coli is that it came from uncooked or undercooked hamburger meat so long ago, and they got that under control because they changed the way they fed animals and the kind of things that they were using in feed, and they pretty much eliminated E. coli from, burgers because it was a lower quality of meat and how you ground it and like just the different things that were in the preparation. But that it's now affecting like our green leafy vegetables. That's just really strange. It's a strange way for, as Jeff Goldblum says, life finds a way.
Right?
E. coli's gonna get you, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's after the vegans.
Yeah. See? Gotta weed them out.
Oh,
bad,
that was bad. Sorry.
I get it.
Yeah.
I
get
couldn't
it.
play along.
That's okay.
Um,
That's fair.
Well, moving on with a story of eating something else. An inmate fled a Georgia jail with the help of his mother, and then, for the hell of it, decided to go out for pancakes. News outlets report that 27-year-old Joshua Gullett and 54-year-old Kathy Lynn Pence were arrested Tuesday at an IHOP restaurant where they had met with his children. Gullett had slipped out a side door of the Heard County Jail hours earlier. Investigators then listened to a phone call that Gullett made to Pence about an escape. Sheriff's Office Sergeant Dan Boswell says it just so happened that during the same phone call, Pence, his mother, was pulled over for running a stop sign. So authorities had already identified her car, and they tracked her phone to a IHOP in the local city. Gullett had been slated for work release, and now he's charged with felony escape, and his mother is charged with aiding and abetting. Hope they enjoyed that breakfast.
I'm sure it was
Wow.
delicious.
I'm sure. it
I'm
was.
sure. Are
You
they
know,
at the one with booze?
they didn't have mimosas, though.
Oh, that.
Oh, we've been. Have we,
You-
I saw your
yeah.
post. Yes.
medically necessary.
And you didn't call me, but I wouldn't have been awake
It was
anyway.
early, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a post-work catastrophe.
I saw that post too.
The funny thing about that was supposed to be on the DL with like 4 people, but turns out so many people had a shitty night and were having the same plan that we ended up like being a whole section of the IHOP.
Oh God.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Sir?
All right, woman planning the world's biggest orgy
Oh.
reveals 3 rules revelers must follow.
Oh, good.
So you're gonna like her name, sex party organizer Pearl Derriere.
I believe that's a stage name,
I know.
like
a
it.
pseudonym.
Is that your given name, dear?
From Denver,
Oh, nice.
is openly polyamorous and lives with her boyfriend Dan Patrick, but also visits her homemaker girlfriend Tommy Talley.
Oh, boy.
An events planner is hoping to organize the world's largest orgy and smash a new record at the marathon sex party.
Oh.
Derriere, who stopped counting her sexual partners when she hit 100,
And we thank her for
yes,
it.
Yes.
Who
aged-
hasn't stopped after you
Yeah.
get to the triple
and she's
digits?
only 21.
Oh my
And
God!
she's aiming to have 1,000 people at the event, beating the Japanese record of 500.
Oh, okay.
And the 29-year-old has some strict rules revelers must follow.
Wait,
It-
29 or
29
21?
or 21?
Oh, and the 29-year-old. Oh, okay.
Oh, maybe she's 29 now. But
Oh,
by
when
21?
I'm sorry, I read this wrong. When she hit 100 at age 21,
Oh,
she
shit.
stopped
But still
counting.
just as
She's still
terrifying.
fucking, but she's not
Right,
counting
right.
anymore.
Oh, good.
Sorry. And the
Punctuation
29-year-old
is very important.
It is.
But
completely
I mean, my
important.
judgment level just.
I like that Al wanted immediate clarification on this issue.
Judge's rule.
Yeah.
She's fucked a lot of people.
Now- yeah,
Okay.
Didn't get better or
Here's
worse.
here's what she's fucked a lot of people and stopped counting.
Yeah.
Okay. So at 29, she has some
Fair
strict
description
rules.
of the event
There
so
we
far.
go. Brought you all up to speed for those playing the home game. Strict rules revelers must follow, including bringing a friend, wearing condoms, and ditching mobile phones. I think
Okay.
that's
Well,
all right.
sure, they don't want any unflattering pictures.
She's
to
been
get out.
inspired by attending numerous private
point.
sex parties. She's an advocate for the sex positive movement, which embraces safe and consensual sexual experimentation. People may think my lifestyle makes me greedy for sex, but that isn't the case. But I did stop counting how many people I slept with once it hit
Think it, you know.
over 100. So this kind of does go on forever about sex positive in life. So I'm gonna skip all that. But she's gonna attend the mass RG date and location of which remain a closely guarded secret. She's
Yeah.
I wanted to get to the part where
You're going to be sponsored by bleach
Yeah.
or some sort of a
Yeah.
cleaning agent.
Trojan.
her partners who have shared a bed with her but have not had sex together are also happy for her to have casual liaisons with other people at orgies. Explaining her open relationship, she said she lost her virginity to a boy at 16 and had first group sex the following year.
Following day.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the following.
See, it's
So
10:15 now.
I'm gonna skip a lot of this.
That was fun. This could be more fun.
There's another. I'm gonna skip till I get to the other rules though. She
quite all right.
said, I get tested for STIs every 6 months, and the results are always clear. I've always been safe. To make sure that people are accounted for and not. Okay, so hold on. Sorry. She
Can
wants
you
to
imagine how proud her parents
Yes,
are?
exactly. To make sure that people are accounted for and
The
not too
derrieres.
drunk and messy, we only let people into parties if they come with a friend or partner. That way, if someone passes out or makes people uncomfortable, we can alert whoever they came with.
Oh.
Being
It's the
filmed.
buddy system.
Yes, and being this, I hadn't thought of this. Being filmed is also a worry at orgies, so no one is allowed in with recording devices or mobile phones. We need a trusting environment for everyone to have fun. Oh, Clayton, here you go. Luckily, Pearl's mom.
I don't know about that.
Oh, Pearl's mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Is non-judgmental about her daughter's choice of career and is
Good.
very close to her.
She said from her
how
street
close?
corner when she works in downtown Denver.
She's
She
at the
has-
house next door.
She's been less open with her dad, who thinks she's an ordinary events planner.
Not anymore.
I thought it was just a wine tasting.
Oh my goodness!
So many
You
corks.
taste what?
Yeah.
The whole Derriere family must be up in arms.
Pearl, who goes to orgies once a month, is now hoping that the sexual extravaganza she's planning may lead to a sex-positive revolution.
Yep.
I'm not sure what will happen, but I just know I want to be part of something I consider historically monumental and to the sex-positive community. For the most part, our community's hidden. No one wants to be outed. I hope our event can change that, and we can lead a sex-positive revolution.
I swear to God, if you go into a fucking car story, if your next story is a mechanophile, we're gonna
Talk about a car getting
He's
it
gonna
in the
end it.
derriere.
I'm gonna sleep with every car on the lot. I don't
The first 100 cars I fucked is stop counting.
Show me your probe.
The transmission orgy.
Oh, God.
Oh, be afraid. No, no, no. I'm not going to speak of those things.
I said nay, nay.
Nay, nay. I will not speak of those things. But I do think.
Here it comes.
Nah. I'm going in between these two stories because they both kind of make me laugh. But let's do this one. You know, when you're hard of hearing, shall we say, deaf,
Okay.
you may not realize that the gas is heard by all
Oh,
No,
that's
no.
fair.
if they can hear, you know.
That's a
obviously.
fair-
Or they can feel the vibration. Feel the. Anyway,
I went there too in my head.
yeah. I
Feel
love
it,
that.
feel
Uh-huh.
it.
Feel the vibration.
No, you mark.
Yep. So a teacher had to explain to her students that, you know, deaf students, that people can hear farts, you know, like so as they're walking around in the store thinking they're safe, just rip one off. Maybe we need to realize from now on, are you ignorant or deaf? Because I'm not
Right.
making them the same. It's just
Sometimes you just let a silent but deadly rip and walk away. You know what I mean? Just keep walking.
Yeah, but or have you ever done that and you're like in the cart aisle and no one's been in the cart aisle the whole time? I'm speaking for a friend. Like they
Yeah.
told me the story. And then
You just got to run.
all of a sudden someone comes around the corner. You know that you can't get away from it.
No.
You can't. And those people might die, but you can't even warn them.
And it's
awful.
always the cabbage and egg salad people that do it.
For real. Yep. So the good news is that this happened early on, right? Early on in life. So Anna Trupiano is a first grade teacher at a school that serves deaf, hard of hearing, and hearing students from birth through 8th grade. In addition to teaching the usual subjects, Trupiano is charged with helping her students thrive in a society that doesn't do enough to cater to the needs of folks that are hard of hearing. Recently, Trupiano had to teach her students about a rather personal topic, the passing of gas in public. A 6-year-old child farted so loud in class that some of their classmates began to laugh. The child was surprised by their reaction because they didn't know farts made a sound. Fair point.
Yeah.
This
If a tree falls in the forest,
right?
nobody's there to
You
hear
don't
it.
know what you don't know.
That's right. This created a wonderful and funny teaching moment for Trupiano. And she shared the conversation on Facebook. And said, today in first grade, one of my deaf students farted loudly in class, and other students turned to look at him. The following is a snippet of a 15-minute conversation that happened entirely in American Sign Language among the group of deaf students and the teacher. Kid 1, why are they looking at me? Teacher, because they heard you fart. Kid, what do you mean? Hearing people can hear farts. The kid, totally horrified. Wait, they can hear all farts? Well, no, she said, not all farts, but some of them.
But
yes.
the ones that lift you off the chair.
and vibrate.
The ones that reverberate, So then kid 3 chimes in and says, well, how do you know which farts they can hear and which farts they can't?
Oh my god!
In fairness, even
That's a
hearing people
fair-
have trouble
Yeah,
with this
that's-
one.
That's a
That's
fair
true.
question.
And she said, well,
The one
you know how
cheek sneak.
sometimes, you know how sometimes you can feel your butt move when you fart?
Wow.
I don't
A
know if I
lot
can
of
take much
those-
more of this.
A lot of those they can hear. But if your butt doesn't move, it's more likely they didn't hear it. Kid number 1, tell them to stop listening to my farts. That's not nice. 6 years old. That's funny.
That is.
What a wonderful
Oh,
time to
my
be
God.
alive.
I know, right? Hearing kids can't stop hearing farts. It just happens. Well, I will just stop farting then.
No, you won't.
Everyone farts. It's healthy, she said. You can't stop. Wait, everyone? Even my mom? Yep. My dad? Yep. You? Yep. They all laugh. All the
You're a
kids are just
book.
hysterical. So you can hear and smell all the farts? Some of the farts, yes. Not all of them. Can hearing people see farts? Because apparently now
There's
you
a
can
couple
hear
that smell so bad you swear you can
you
see them.
think, yeah, there's like
Your eyes
There's
are
an
It's
watering.
gotta
noxious
be
gas,
visible to
yeah.
the naked
Your
eye.
eyes are watering.
yeah, and
something
kid number
That's a
three.
real barn burner.
Kid number 3 says, yeah, green smoke comes out of their butt. I saw it on TV. The teacher said that doesn't happen in real life. Kid number 1, what? Oh, I don't understand farts. She said, I went to college for 8 years to have these conversations.
Oh,
But
my
I
gosh.
thought that was just so cute.
That
you
is
know,
cute.
She
while-
probably just missed that day of instruction when they went over like
Right.
Yeah.
primary education and
Crazy.
the fart.
Right. She says, while discussion, the discussion with the students was funny, it points out, like, with, and Clayton is familiar with Andrew, right?
Yes.
With,
well, and beyond him now, I
Sure.
know so many more.
absolutely. But initially, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah. it's-
Right?
Yeah.
So even more during a time when less was understood, like, and less accepting, kind of, and all of that. And so she said it started with farts, but the real issue is that many of my students aren't able to learn about these things at home or from their peers because they don't have the same linguistic access.
And in some cases, they also come from deaf parents.
Correct.
If it's a
Yeah.
genetic thing,
Right.
they're not taught because
CODA, like if anyone's ever heard of CODA, children of deaf adults.
Oh.
That's what. So if you ever hear someone say my parents are CODA, they may be hearing, but
Yeah.
they're children of deaf adults.
No.
So many of my students don't have families who can sign well enough to explain so many things, and so that's incredibly isolating. She hopes the funny story about bodily functions will inspire others. Right. Bullshit.
Yeah.
She hopes that the funny story about bodily functions will inspire others to become more involved with the deaf community by learning sign. And, seeing a world where everybody can just talk about their farts, I guess.
And this came up.
A step forward.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
The Walking Dead introduced a deaf character and a hard of hearing character that are signing to each other.
Okay.
And then they came on the Talking Dead, which is the talk show afterwards where you talk about your feelings about The Walking Dead. And there was something there where the one woman was saying it's a level of communication. Like, I can have conversations with people, like, you can teach them a little bit of sign, but it's very limited. Whereas this person signs, her mother is deaf, she is hard of hearing. We can have a full conversation, and I need my translators over there because there's stuff that I'm going to say that's just not going to come across.
Sure.
You know, and it was one of those things where you don't think of it in terms of living your whole life with everybody speaking broken English, and like you want to have an in-depth conversation about something subtle, and like no one knows the words
not
for that.
going to do it.
Not going to translate at all. Yeah.
No.
So I mean, it's a funny fucking
I
thing.
thought that was just really cute because then you're 6 years old, and what a funny age anyway. Kids are laughing about the different bodily functions, and it's
and that's
goofy,
it's kind of how you have to find out. You find out most of the stuff from peers and from it happening. I like that kind of stuff. So we have a very valuable Tuesday lesson to learn for 2 years. So we changed headlines because this is updated as of today at 11:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's just happened.
Couple hours
This
ago.
is 30 minutes old.
Oh, 30 minutes. Oh, you're right.
So do not watch the election results on Election Day because no one fucking knows who won on Election Day. Because this one particular race in Utah has now changed winners twice.
Wow.
So on the morning after the election, Donald Trump called out Mia Love for not
Right.
showing him any
For no love.
Wow.
by
Oh
name
God, I hope
because
she fucking wins.
because she lost her. Well, she's a Republican.
I hope she loses.
Yeah. Well, luckily there's lots of turns to this.
Why?
So, on the night of and the morning after, she was down as having lost
Thanks,
to her.
Obama.
Oh my God, how perfect.
She was the first black Republican woman elected to Congress in 2015, and she was running against
As rare as a unicorn.
Yes, Salt County Mayor Ben McAdams. That day. Well, then. The next week on Pod Save America and other political nerdcasts and all the stuff that I listen to, the vote had been turned around and she won.
Okay.
And I don't know if he conceded, but everyone was declaring her the winner and they were taking away that seat from the Democrats. Well, it's official as of
30
minutes ago that she lost.
Oh wow. Trump's head's gonna explode, saying it's all
a
rigged.
hoax.
Yeah.
So that adds to the majority. So whether or not there are, because as we came on the air, there were 2 seats undecided, and I think this was one of them.
Wow.
So I think this brings the Democrats to 39 seats that they won. But this is by a very small margin. But there just is no point because California didn't know who won any of those races. They were still counting.
Arizona didn't.
We went a week to find out who won, and it was over a week to find out that Katie Hobbs finally got declared.
Right.
And looked like she was losing.
Oh, yeah.
The whole time, and then she wins.
And I'm like, oh my God, can we please get this right?
Yeah.
Or at least get this like.
But I like that it takes a long time. I think it's more accurate.
But I mean, but there's just no reason to watch the news that night.
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
There's nothing coming up.
Oh, but we'll never stop doing it.
No.
No.
But did you see the post that I made with regards to somebody said, a few weeks ago, 1 billion lottery tickets were all sold across America, and within seconds of the drawing, they knew exactly what city, state, store, kiosk it all came out of.
Yeah.
Why the fuck don't we get our shit together?
Yeah. Well,
I agree.
It drives me crazy, like that whole Broward County thing, with their screwed up ballot.
Screwed up ballot, right?
But this is the thing. In this,
but she resigned too.
This just drives me crazy. We went through that in 2000 with Gore, and they're still doing
18
it
years
the
later, we
same
still don't
way.
have it.
Like, shouldn't right now?
Well, they don't.
No,
they
right
don't-
this
they don't
second.
have dangling chads
They
anymore.
don't do the chads anymore.
I
They
know,
don't-
but the ballot, the screwed up,
Right.
and
there are standards that
they
they
put
were
the
given.
senator down in the low way,
Right.
thing. Why aren't they changing that right now? Like, why don't they stop every single thing that's happening in Broward County right now
and fix that
and fucking fix that?
Well, it's
I
all.
don't
It was
understand.
already a federal recommendation given to them.
Right.
Whoever
That's
fucked up designing the ballot
right.
needs to be fired.
That
immediately.
butterfly ballot, and they're still fucking using it. Like what is
Crazy
that,
people.
2000 wasn't enough to figure that shit out. That just mystified me.
Well, they've kept Republicans in control of the
Yeah,
House
that's
and
gotta
of
be
the,
it.
the
Yeah, that's-
Secretary of the State role.
Yeah. So that's it.
What else are you going to get with this? They're not going to be like, well,
Well-
hey, we won an election that way once. Why
yeah.
are we going to change
Why
it?
are we changing
Well,
it?
now that they've pissed off Stacey Abrams so much, that woman is coming out with a
Oh,
vengeance, and
she's-
Georgia is going to be very different, I believe, next time
Yeah.
because she's going to push through. I feel. I mean, yes, dumbass is still the governor. He's no longer
Yeah.
Secretary of. Is that right? Secretary of State.
Yeah.
Because he resigned from that because he had to, right?
Right.
Yeah, and I can't,
'Cause
I
he
can't
became
remember if he was replaced by a Democrat or
I
Republican.
think it was. I maybe I'm wrong, but I thought he was replaced by a Democratic Secretary of State in Georgia. But I anticipate that there's going to be some house cleaning done down there, and they're going to in the next election they have. They're
Well,
going to
she
have a,
started that organization.
yeah.
To,
But she's
for
been
better
and she's been
elections.
working on
Yeah.
it like for 2 years, right? She's
Yeah.
been
So
on it?
I thought it had to be the other party for what, and I only say that because of
Like of a check and balance?
Napolitano and
No.
what's her face? What's her cunt? Brewer.
Brewer,
Because
What's that?
Brewer's the one that took over for Napolitano.
Yeah,
right? But that's because she was pulled out of here by Obama.
right.
Right, but she was governor, and then Brewer was lieutenant governor.
No, we don't
Or-
have
We don't have
or
her
Secretary of
Secretary of
And
State.
that's
State.
not the same in every state.
Yeah,
Some
Okay.
states have lieutenant governors.
Okay,
yeah.
that's right. I was thinking that that's why she had filled in that post, and it was, but not because it was a chosen them running together kind of thing.
What are you? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Republican, Democrat. I was thinking that
Oh, that they ran together. No, they don't.
they were picked together.
That's a
and
good.
that was
That's a reason to have a lieutenant governor.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
but we don't because it's cheaper
Oh, okay.
to not have one.
I don't.
More useless trivia. We're one
I
of
like
only
that.
3 states that doesn't have a
Oh.
governor's mansion.
Moving
that's
along, I'm going to do our
interesting.
You
last
live in your own
headline,
house.
and then I'll show you how we're going to get into entertainment. So, Al, you get ready for your entertainment stuff. The surprisingly powerful winter storm that
Yum.
swept across Pennsylvania brought some surprising sights with it, including a camel stranded
Oh.
along a snowy roadway.
What?
Motorists traveling about 40 miles or 64 kilometers north of Philadelphia started tweeting about a camel and posted videos on social media of the animal. An organization called Jewish Philly says it was their camel named Einstein. He was on his
Of
way
course.
to the group's event at Philadelphia's Kimmel Center when the vehicle he was traveling in got stuck in the snow. Jewish Philly later tweeted Einstein's handler decided it was best for the camel to head home after his snow adventures, so he returned to the Peaceable Kingdom Petting Zoo, and all was well with the world
Peaceable kingdom.
after that.
Oh my god, that's fantastic.
Since we're running a little late, what I'm going to do is we're going to do a fake break because I need to actually play it so I can edit the show. So we're going to do your teaser, do a break, and come right back. We're not going to
Okay.
do a music break. So let's do this.
Entertainment! Go get pie! We're just going to talk about a couple things. Blackish had its 100th episode, and it was super funny.
Funny.
Movie that's out in the theaters. Oh, and I had a headline that I forgot to read.
No.
I forgot I was prepared with something. And there's not much else because we're kind of in a dry spot waiting for the award season to start in a
No.
week. The Independent Spirit Awards came out, but
Meh.
Mm,
meh. We'll just go over like one part of that.
Gotcha. So what we're going to do here, we're going to come right back in like 15 seconds with the third part of the show.
What a fucking disguise this is.
You're listening to Q Talk America. This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
I told you we were going to come right back. It was a very quick turnaround break. I had to just throw that in there for editing purposes. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's the show. It's Tuesday night. It's our pre-Thanksgiving show. We do it every year where we all cook in the kitchen and eat more than normal here in Studio C. Joining us this week is the guest villainous himself. Doug Wilkie is here. Marnie Ryer.
Hello.
Al Perkins. I'm Clayton McKee. Kat Carlson has the night off. She's traveling somewhere on the highways and byways of the... did she go to Utah, Idaho? Where she went?
Sacramento, right?
California. I was wrong on all the points.
But I think she's
Can't
I
keep
think she's starting the 10 days of Turkey.
Oh, good for her. We've done a lot in the first 2 preceding hours, but you'll have to listen back to that on demand or on repeat, whichever you want to do. But right now, we're going to turn it over to the one and only Al Perkins and entertainment.
Okay. I was like, oh, did we? So we talked about Orange is the New Black last season. They're ending it.
Yep.
I can't remember if we talked about that.
We mentioned it.
That's gone. Can You Ever Forgive Me didn't do as well in the Independent Spirit Awards as everybody hoped. There was no nomination for Melissa McCarthy, which I was very surprised at, because I think everyone is pretty much considering her a lock for the Oscar nomination.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things popping up.
It could be a competitive year, though.
There's a movie called The Favorite.
Oh, yes.
By this weird ass director.
Who
and
I like.
And we've talked about a couple of his movies. He did The Lobster, and he did The Killing of a Sacred Deer that I talked about. I was like, he makes these movies that are just. And there's one more. There's one before
This
The Lobster
one will be
too.
less bizarre.
But I don't know. Like, are we just putting paint on something? I mean, not that The Lobster wasn't really funny. Like, The Lobster was very. Oh, and the lady that sings in The Lobster is the queen in this one.
Yeah, Olivia Colman.
Yep. Okay.
Rachel Weisz was on Letterman.
Yeah.
This last weekend.
I got burned by Tree of Life, so I don't buy it when somebody says they've completely
Yeah,
made
I'm with
a different
Jenny on
movie.
this one. What's the Melissa movie?
It's called Can You Ever Forgive Me? It's Melissa McCarthy as the author that sold letters from like Dorothy
That's
Parker
right.
and all those people.
That's right. Yep. Okay.
So that was the big omission. There was some. The movie with David Diggs. He got a nomination in there too, which I'm kind of hoping. I can't remember what that Black Spotting I think it was called. I hope that movie like carries over to the Oscars because he like co-wrote it, co-directed it, co-starred in it, co-produced it, and it was very good. We did that. Blackish did its 100th episode this last week, and they did a tribute to Prince because the younger kids didn't know who Prince was. And so the older kids and the parents, the grandparents are all in the kitchen dancing to Let's Go Crazy and like doing like a little Big Chill thing where they're like washing the dishes and singing and dancing and like, what are we? We have premium Spotify. What is this? Who is that lady singing?
So funny.
It was just charming. And as they're like everybody's taking a time to like tell his story and how like, you know, back in the olden days, there was only like 2 radio stations. So everybody was kind of listening to the same kind of music. So you kind of knew everybody and they were like, how they all know the same, like the roots of music and how this was getting lost on these kids. And like all the recreations of the
recreations
videos
were funny. They all did like an imitation. They all did their Prince imitation.
Okay.
Oh,
and
so funny.
It was really good. And the youngest girl, Diane, did she do Raspberry Beret or no? She did she did the Purple Rain.
I was gonna say no, it wasn't Raspberry Beret.
What's his face did Raspberry Beret. The guy in the office. Oh my God, it was
he's
just funny and charming when they were listing off facts. And as they're saying things that are true, and they're saying like his scrappiness that he taught himself every instrument and got himself his own, you know, recording contract at 18 and played everything because he didn't have money. And they're like, and it's that scrappiness that made him the first black person to survive a Minnesota winter.
That was the oldest son, and the dad was like,
it was
"No,
hysterical.
You're done talking.
You're done talking."
But it was just so
That was
perfect
funny.
how it got in there, and I was like, was he?
Well, come on.
It's, you know what I mean?
Maybe.
It's
You
8
don't know,
o'clock in the
maybe.
morning after a
Yeah.
long day at work, and it was,
That's
but it was
funny.
just such a perfectly delivered
And to all the blacks
line.
that have come before him.
And just the fact that they get in politics and they get in pop culture, and they really have to address it. Now that Diana Ross has become the elephant in the room, kind of. Like,
because of her mom.
Right, because they do so much about the cultural importance of like people that went mainstream, people that made it big. And so if you have Bo being this like confident woman, and they're constantly talking about icons, but they don't ever seem to go female.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I thought Kenya Barris was a woman.
I did too.
I don't think so.
Man.
Oh.
So
I thought that too.
So just because I work with a girl named Kenya, so I just assumed it was a female name.
And there are a couple of gals that work for us.
Yeah. So I mean, but it's become really strange to not be talking about like female icons for her.
Yeah.
Because she's a biracial doctor that comes from like a hippie family. Like, what were her influences? What did she look for? Since it certainly wasn't her parents and the way she was raised, because they make such great jokes about her upbringing, and it's Jeff Bridges and
What is her name?
Anna
I can
Devere,
see her, but
Anna Devane Smith is her mother.
I would never come up with that.
Oh my God! And
But I can see
the
it,
episode where Diane had her period,
Yeah.
and the hippie mother wants to come over and like
Yeah.
like throw things from the earth at her. It's so wrong. And you just never know where that show's gonna go. Like there's nothing else like it on TV
Yeah.
that handles so
Totally
many
unique.
different things. But
Yeah.
that line about Prince being the first, but it was that scrappiness
so
that helped me become the
funny.
first black man to survive a Minnesota winter. I just like had my cereal in my mouth and I'm like,
Yeah.
what? There is a very interesting piece. Let's see if I can get to this. Ellen Pompeo did a roundtable discussion about women in the arts, and then made a comment about the diversity of the panel, but that the diversity in the panel was as far as the diversity went.
Oh.
So if you get a chance, watch this interview. Oh, that's why I didn't do it, because it was a link to Twitter, and that was too much fucking work. But it's made a big deal that she's saying to the people that are holding this round table that that's nice that you invited a diverse panel, but as she walked, do you not understand how lotion works?
I need it for my lips. I don't have my Carmex here.
Do we have to review lotion? I've never seen anybody do that before.
It's lotion. It moisturizes things. It goes on my lips. It goes on my hands. Whatever.
Okay.
I didn't want to use Tiger Balm because then I wouldn't be able to talk later.
I have Burt's Bees. If you
I
wanna
have
use
never
it.
seen anybody do that
It's
before.
fantastic.
That's funny. So she commented on that.
For my next trick.
Yeah. that- I don't want to know where you put the chapstick. So she talked about the fact that walking into the interview, that the diversity was not there in the office that she walked through or the staff that she walked up to.
Interesting.
And then she talked about that she was working out an endorsement deal for some project, and she told them that the set around them, if she gets involved with this, that the set has to look like the crowd that she walked through to get to the building to film it.
Mhm.
Like it can't stop at the door. That all of a sudden it's just
That's becoming a thing now, is to have diversity in the staff,
in the staff, and it's what that thing
like
that
women.
that won the Oscar last year for Best Actress. Fargo. What the hell's her name?
Frances McDormand.
Frances
Frances
McDormand.
McDormand was talking about asking for diversity writers.
The writers, right?
Yeah.
Contract.
So, but it was interesting to hear her say that, and you could like at first the other people on the panel are a little like
You could see the tension.
the tension, and then they were like, yeah, I guess we can all recommend that. And so she was getting some praise for like, okay, there's a lot of white privilege in the world, but at least you're using it to point out what can be done. Kind of like when Brad Pitt would tell the reporters, that's fine if you want to follow me around, but if you're going to follow me around, we're going to Darfur. Like, I don't know if you remember that
Sure.
with
Yeah.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
He was like, you
Yeah.
can get on the plane with me, I don't even care.
Follow me to Darfur.
But you're going to follow me to a news story. He's like, you're not just going to follow me and my kids. You're going to follow him. This, I think, he was before he had kids. But when he was dating people, he'd be like, I'll give you access to this, but you're going to these places too, and you're going to follow me there. And it was one of the things that raised awareness. All right, let's get rid of that. So if you get a chance, it was on Twitter, and I think it happened today. So look for it other places. I don't want to hit that button, but I do want to find out. Hold on, I got to find out what this is leading to.
Murder.
Murder.
Please excuse me while I find out what this link
What
is
is it
for.
about? What is it all about?
What's it all about, Alfie? So William Goldman, Oscar winner for Butch Cassidy, has died. Screenwriter in Hollywood, wise man who won Academy Awards for Butch Cassidy, The Sundance Kid, and All the President's Men. Speaking of
Watergate era.
And summed up the mystery of making a box office hit by declaring nobody knows anything has died. Goldman's daughter Dennis said he died Friday due to complications from colon cancer and pneumonia.
I don't know, that build up and just that flat. He died. Like just that build up. I didn't know we were gonna just land there.
I didn't either because I didn't write. I usually put something in it that tells me what the link is, but I thought I would remember. Goldman made political history by coining the phrase "follow the money" in his script for All the President's Men, which I love because it's not what they said during Watergate. It's what he made them say in the movie that is
Right.
now what they say
What
about
everybody
politics.
says. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
The film starred Robert Redford as Woodward, Dustin Hoffman as Bernstein. Standing in the Shadows, Hal Holbrook was the mystery man named Deep Throat. He also wrote Marathon Man with
So good. Laurence Olivier.
Laurence Olivier and Dustin Hoffman, with the famous scene in Why Everybody's Afraid of Dentists. The Princess Bride was written by him. So he went everywhere
he's all
in his
over the
career.
place
And
there.
then he wrote Magic, the
Oh.
Anthony Hopkins horror
I
movie.
love that movie.
Yeah, that is a creep. I remember the commercial for that as a child. Scared the shit out of me. And one of the there's somewhere in a Stephen King book within a book, and it is probably Misery. I'm just gonna say it's Misery. Because it's about an author, and the author is talking about when it's time to write the book of what just happened, because he's selling. I think the last scene in Misery is him selling the book rights to what happened to him in Misery. He said, somebody says about, oh, we can probably get you movie deals, and he's like, please get me William Goldman. And that was the first time that I actually knew the name. That I was like, who this fella? Because I needed to look it up to find out
He's done a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, but back in the
Goldman
day,
or Goldsmith?
Goldman.
Goldman.
William Goldman.
Okay, I'm IMDbing that.
Yeah, and so I think just funny that's how I came to know him, was that he's in a reference to a fake person to a real person, and I think
And is that Metro Goldwyn Mayer? Is that Goldwyn?
No, that's Goldwyn. This is Goldman, like Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Goldman.
Got it.
Tony Goldwyn.
Is the son, right, or
the
grandson?
of,
Okay.
He's the legacy.
Yeah.
Got it.
And
Okay.
his brother is someone too. It's not just there's two Goldwyn brothers.
Okay.
One acts and directs, and one stays. The one you don't know what he looks like.
Okay.
But there's two of of Metro Goldwyn Mayer. There's one out there. He's out there. So then the last thing is a terrific movie that is out right now, starring that boy that I tell everybody to watch, and now I have to Google his
Lucas Hedges.
Lucas Hedges.
Uh-huh.
Boy Erased. This kid's career is just going all the right places. He is just doing so much right. Based on a book written a few years ago by a kid that escaped Homo Nomo camp in the South, religious father, devoted wife.
I do wanna see this movie.
Good family, not mean-spirited people. The son thinks he's, is worried he might be gay, and he just, the torture and the terrorism that is conversion therapy. It's a horrible, abusive thing based on just witchcraft and sorcery and no knowledge, and all they
No
do is
science.
harm. There's no science,
Yeah.
and it's just harm from beginning to end. There is, if you know somebody who's thinking about doing that to their kid, just punch them in the face,
Yeah.
because they're about to abuse their child. Do what you would do before you watch someone torture
Physically
or
and
physically
harm,
abuse their child, because it kind of hits. It kind of hits home as to how far off the mark everybody is. They're not allowed to tell their parents anything about their therapy. They don't know how long they're staying. It could be this outpatient program where you have to go to this distant city and your parents live in a hotel. You do a 9-to-5 counseling. There's no feedback. There's no structure. And then you could be sent back to these living quarters for as long as a year, if not longer. And just the damage. And
Because you keep exuding gay, or what?
No, because it's a scam. They just
No,
want
no,
money.
but I mean, that's their excuse.
But you can't cure gay. So
Right,
is the one
right.
kid, and I wasn't sure. The thing about it was who wrote the book. You know what I mean? I just saw Beautiful Boy because that's the other boy that's on the exact same delightful career trajectory.
Timothy
Chalamet. These two are just rising at the exact same time, and kind of one's in Beautiful Boy, one's in Boy Erased. Their careers can't get any closer.
Right.
They're practically in the same movie. But in Beautiful Boy, Beautiful Boy wrote the book, and that the father wrote the book. So when you go into it that they at least lived long enough to both write a book on the topic.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't.
Unless there's a horrible postscript
Yeah.
at the end.
They're alive.
They were alive to tell the tale.
Oh God.
But this one, you're not sure which of the kids wrote the book. Which one of these wrote the story. Because they all come from religious homes.
Okay.
They're all so similar. So which story are we going to focus on? And that's what made me nervous. And there's, I think the guy that wrote the book, his name is Jared, but there's also a Gerald in the movie. You know what I mean? There's a couple people with similar names, and I got really nervous. I was like, fuck-a-doodle. I don't know which one's gonna, how this is gonna end. But, and they only do one thing. They only have one scene that shows you how far off the rails it can get.
Okay.
Like if that character had a chance to, or that character or that character's family had a chance to write that story, I think that would be different than. So, because I've heard someone say it's a little bit sanitized, but it just depends on whose story you hear.
Sure.
Some people may have gotten out of there a few weeks. You probably want someone that was in it for a year and had to live there with those rules of dress and that awful conduct, and just it's just this awful feeling. And I've had this little bit of like, again, self-inflicted depression since I saw Beautiful Boy about what does it, and we talked about this last week, like what does it take to just like give up on a family member or a loved one and say I can't anymore, like I can't do this with you anymore, as opposed to like this story where someone at the outset is like, whatever that is, you're gone. You like there's no you know what I mean, there's no growth cycle. It's just that's a you're just out of the house. Like if that's what you're gonna be, if that's what you say you are, then we're just done with you and you're gone. And I'm like, what does that say about like how you like love someone or the quality of love that all of a sudden there's something that makes it like nope, and it's not murder. You know what I mean? It's not murder or cruelty. It's just I don't, and I don't like I'm like, you know, I have a friend that might be moving in a couple of months, and I'm already like, oh, I'm gonna miss you. It's months away, and he's like moving 3 feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, what is the, like, how can someone make that choice? You know, how can you do that? Like, I don't.
That's what religion does.
Yeah.
But the other thing is with addiction, like you fight and you fight and you fight, and at some point you can't ruin everybody can't go down with that ship.
Sure.
Like so, it's
that's the tough love piece.
Right, but you're still
the addict is destroying your life, and you have to put a boundary up and say nope.
Oh.
Right, and so in that case, it's the right thing to do. It's got to be horrible. So but there's that. All those different components, like never have children. I just can't imagine raising a child. Like every time I watch this, I think, oh my God, if I had it's just 40 years of terrorism, hopefully followed by delightful Alzheimer's, so you don't remember anything that happened.
Sure.
But a great movie. I mean, I'm not expecting Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman.
She hits another one out of the park. I'm starting to think
I love that
we've hit some kind of a renaissance in the Nicole
and she has a
Kidman.
new movie coming out. Destroyer.
So
I've never been a huge fan of
I
Kidman.
like her a lot.
Oh, I love her too.
Yeah, I just
do.
never. Nothing has ever really kind of.
What have you ever seen? Oh God, the '90s movie where she's the crazy weathercaster.
Oh, it's so good.
No.
Death. Oh, what the fuck is the name of that? But her first one is a Dead Calm. Is a really good.
That was just
I've never seen
on
that.
HBO the other night.
It's
I watched it
from
from start
the
to
80s.
finish.
She's a young Australian Sam.
It's like 89.
Sam, what's his face from
Sam
Jurassic
Neill.
Park? Sam Neill is her. Is her.
She's still got the big red hair.
Yeah, she got the big red curls.
Gorgeous.
They're out on a yachting adventure,
really,
and they come across like
it's so good.
an abandoned ship, and they take on what they think is the only survivor, and hilarity ensues on the high seas.
No, what am I thinking of? Not William Hurt.
This one's Dead Calm.
What am I thinking of with William Hurt? Is it just Body of Water or something? That William Hurt was in? It was scary. It was a scary movie.
Body Heat.
Body Heat. Thank you.
Yeah, this isn't quite.
No, I know the one you're thinking of.
Yeah.
No, Body Heat's not scary.
No, it was the water. Like there was water, a lot of water. That's what I was thinking. The ship. It was a long.
Was it about an island? Because islands are surrounded by water.
Yeah.
Wet water.
That water is wet.
That water is
so
wet.
anyways, she is terrific in it, and Russell Crowe. Somebody ate Russell Crowe and is now on screen wearing him as skin.
He actually had gained weight for the movie where he plays Heirs.
Oh yeah.
Russell Crowe, if I'm not mistaken, it's Russell Crowe plays. Why can't I think of his name from Fox News that died?
Is he from an island?
No. What's the asshole's
Roger
name?
Ailes.
Roger Ailes.
Ailes.
He's playing Roger Ailes because they showed a picture of him on set, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, he's playing Roger Ailes, and what's his face played Dick Cheney.
Tom Cruise.
Oh,
No.
Batman.
Who plays Batman?
Eric Bana.
Well, which
No.
one? Which Batman? There's so
The
many.
latest,
Ben
the good
Affleck?
Batman. The good
Why
Batman.
can't we think of who that actor is?
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
My favorite thing about that too is when someone on Facebook said, "Can everybody on CNN and everywhere else stop
funny,
saying,
Jenny.
oh my
That's
God, it's Dick Cheney?" He's like, "No, it's fat Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
That's
Like
funny.
he didn't immerse himself in the role. It's fat Christian Bale.
Well done, Jenny.
In my
It's
mind,
fat Russell
you're
Crowe.
thinking of Altered States. That's the only thing close to horror I can think of with William Hurt. In
Okay, I think you're absolutely right. Is there an island?
In the stream?
I haven't seen.
Marnie
I
has
have,
a fear of trying.
I haven't
I
seen
do.
Altered States.
She's absolutely
in,
right. She's absolutely right. Who's the chick
Dead
that's
Calm
in it?
is an actual like
Oh, in the
murder
isolation
mystery.
tank. Is that the one you're thinking?
Yeah.
of?
That's Altered
Yeah.
States.
That's Altered States. The isolation
So
tank.
who's the girl that's in that?
Drew Barrymore.
Oh, well, okay.
Let me see. Blair Brown, Bob Balaban. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
That's a really
So-
deep
Sorry.
cut if you've
Yeah,
seen that, because
yeah.
that's an old.
Yeah, it is.
Where are you going?
How much time do we have?
Well, whatever. We own the fucking network.
I just think because Anand's as long as we fucking want to. Try that one on for size. Did I ever tell you that one?
Yeah.
So
Have you
Anand's,
heard that before?
Anand's mentioned it twice, but there's a. I want to know what this porno is. The podcast is. It's my dad wrote a porno.
I have no idea what that's
So
about. But,
Anand, is it good?
But while he's looking that up,
Al's gonna look it up.
They're referring us to it. I'm assuming it's good. But to jump right in right quick, entertainment-wise, Schitt's Creek is coming back for season 5. This is the longest buy of episodes that they've had thus far. They have 14 episodes in this coming season.
Oh,
Starts on January 16th is when the season starts. However,
there's a Christmas special.
if you can't wait, and I don't know, I've already set the DVR. December 19th, a Wednesday, December 19th, they have
What channel is it on?
Pop is what they are come out on, but then it's like the day after, I forget another
Is it
network.
Netflix?
No, I think it's
no,
FX.
it's original programming. I think.
Pop is the original.
How am I ever going to see this show?
Oh, okay. Let's back them up. The
Sorry.
previous seasons are on Netflix.
Thank you.
Yes,
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
sorry, yes.
The new
Yes.
the new seasons are on Pop. And
the
then
the 19th of December, Wednesday, is when they're going to have their holiday episode, and I'm very curious to see what in the
What
hell
happens.
they have put together for a holiday episode.
I think they showed a still with Catherine O'Hara.
Oh, they
I
definitely
did.
yeah.
I did see
Did you
that.
see that?
I did
Yeah.
see that.
Uh-huh.
But who knows what's coming up with this
David.
next season with him? David. I just love it.
I think they should have the chick who does the makeup on.
Oh,
Her and David.
nostrils.
No.
Oh,
Did you
That's so
figure out what you were
funny.
going to say?
I was trying to remember. So you just have to Google who carries Pop in America, because Pop is a Canadian channel,
Right.
and it has an American equivalent, which is what I think it's
Okay.
FX or TBS or something.
Don't know.
FX sounds.
We were touching earlier on the topic of the conversion camps, and the second we started talking about it. Granted, I realized it's a horrible thing, and there's no reason for them, and it's ridiculous. But I always go to this because I think it's funny, and I thought maybe I would just share it with the rest of you because I like it, and there's that. So we'll do this.
Keep wiring in your brain that makes you gay.
No, again, I'm not really sure that's how it works.
Perhaps most helpful. I'm going to send you to this.
A gay conversion camp?
Oh, camp sounds fun. The rest seems a little odd.
You'll spend 2 weeks in the woods with other boys that have the same affliction you do.
These heterosexual s'mores are delicious.
They're so messy. I got some on my shirt.
No, I spilled too. We gotta go wash off the lake.
2 weeks in the woods with a bunch of gay boys? You're right. I think that's probably the best thing for me right now.
I think Kenny's gonna be very busy this summer, Mom.
I don't think either of you is taking this seriously.
That is great, Clayton. I forgot about that show.
Oh, the real O'Neills. I
love
think
that
I
show.
still have every episode recorded. I just let Noah Galvin's character, the whole premise of it. I just
So good.
and whoever knew that Martha Plimpton was funny as hell.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
One of the great,
Very
great
funny.
And you know,
treasures.
like not all sitcoms can do it, but this one did it well. There is a touching undercurrent about her struggle to know her son.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Like it's
Oh,
really
yeah.
know like how the Goldbergs will have the meaningful moment in there, you know, and that one did it. It was hilarious like that, but there was, and I liked that they really went there with like she is really having an issue, but she wants to have a relationship with
And
her.
on
The
top of-
opposite of the boy erased people.
Right, yeah.
And in that series, and on top of that struggle she had, they were also divorced parents living in the same property.
Yeah.
So there were so many
That show was
struggles
really
going on. But it was a cute show. I'm
Yeah.
sorry that it went away because I enjoyed it.
Me too.
I'm okay with shows only less than like 2 seasons because
Yeah,
like
that's the British way.
The Big Bang Theory, you
Yeah,
just can't,
we don't need 14
you
years
can't
of
get any
anything.
more milk out of that
Well,
cow.
this is the last season, right?
I know, but I mean, it's been dead for like there has not been a second of. They still don't have a dining room table.
That's what I.
It's been 12 years. You're still eating on the floor.
That's what I love about like the way the British do it. Like they'll do 2 or 3 seasons of something, then it's done, and then you get some next great thing. You
Yeah.
don't need 17 years of
Sure.
Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Grey's
No.
Anatomy fans.
Yeah,
but you don't need
Kat
that.
would, Kat would disagree,
Tin-
and
no.
you're in the wrong chair, sir.
She's wrong. But
Sir,
you know what I mean? Because
sir,
you run
gently
out,
take it
you
back.
run out,
You
and
run
then you
out.
have to get new people, and it's just bull. It just make a new good show,
Yeah.
so you get more.
They're real people.
Even the
I'm doing that
even
for
the
Kat.
telenovelas figured
You're
that out.
welcome.
You
Yeah,
burn
just-
it through in about it's I don't know. They do like a 9 months or a year and a half, and then it's over, and then you get another one, and it's the same shit, but at least it's a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always hated
can't.
that about American television.
And but the one show that's aside from The Good Place, which is my favorite show, but the other show that's kind of getting it done in like the most underrated, underappreciated way is Superstore.
Yeah.
Oh,
That-
God,
I've
is that
never watched
funny?
it.
That show.
That's
I love
funny.
America
and you
Ferrera.
just never know how around the corner and down the block and through 2 aisles of traffic to get to the joke you're gonna go. And sometimes it's just as simple as whatever's playing in the Muzak that goes along with like the raccoon in the middle of the chip section, just eating its way through the bags.
Okay.
And like there's just and the song on the thing will just go with it. Or people like chewing the gum and putting it back, like just all the horrible things that happens. They're supposed to be Walmart. They're
Right.
supposed
No,
to be
I get.
Walmart.
No, I get the premise, but
But-
I've never watched
No,
it.
but just but the
Funny.
and you the joke with whatever the song is on the Muzak to whatever the
That's so
little
funny.
just 30 seconds
Critter.
and it's not even
Yeah,
30 seconds
yeah.
it's like 10 seconds
Or
of
character.
customers in the store doing something awful to Muzak.
That sounds wonderful.
No, America Ferrera is
I
amazing.
love her.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
She's so talented.
She
Her-
was at North High School
Her
at Aaron School.
I
Right
didn't
before
know
the
that.
vote. Yeah, they didn't
Wow.
have anything out, but she went to talk to the
Yeah. She's aware.
Hispanic
Didn't
Latin.
didn't speaking
she
of
worked
her,
for
Yeah.
Obama.
Yeah.
didn't I send you a link about the reboot of
Oh, Ugly Betty.
Ugly Betty?
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
They're all on board from what the
Oh,
story.
No
so
way.
Awesome.
I think I sent you a link for
Yeah,
about
you
that.
did. And
I
Michael
love that
Urie
show.
is actually on Broadway right now. Now they're calling it Torch Song because it was 3 acts, so it was called Torch Song Trilogy. It's where we get Harvey Fierstein from.
Right.
Firestein.
Sure, Harvey Firestein.
Firestein.
Oh, you look just like mother.
Stop it.
And it's where we get what's her face from.
I'll never
Golden
forget
Girls.
what's her face.
Sophia. What's the mom's name?
Oh, Estelle Getty.
Estelle Getty. Remember, I was telling you, you want to do the show when it plays in L.A. She did Torch Song Trilogy in L.A. and the producer saw it, and she was the first one cast. And she was playing
As Rose. She's supposed to play Rose in that. And initially, they had her hired for Rose in Golden Girls. Betty White was initially going to be.
No, you're thinking of Rue McClanahan.
Who did you say? I'm sorry.
Sophia.
Estelle Getty.
Estelle
The
Getty.
little
Estelle
one.
Getty. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
She was the first one.
Wow,
cast,
I
but
was
it was
way
it
off.
was based on her performance in LA of Torch Song Trilogy. They wanted her for the mother character, even though she was
Way too young.
40
Well,
years
younger than everybody else.
Yeah,
Right.
so much younger.
Yeah.
Than the cart, but they were like, we'll fix it in post. Somehow we'll make this work, but
Right.
that you will play that role. So yeah, but it just weird that they kind of snuck that in, and all of a sudden, as I'm checking like Broadway grosses, I'm like, Torch Song. What are the odds that it has anything to do with Torch Song Trilogy? But I guess it would confuse people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Kind of like when The Madness of King George played here as a movie. The actual play that it's based on was called The Madness of George III,
Okay.
and people thought Americans were too stupid and they would think they'd missed the first 2 parts.
And they were right.
True story.
Wow.
So it's called The
Is
Madness
this
of King
like a
George.
sequel, prequel, trequel? Is
Isn't
this a
that
trequel?
It's a trilogy.
Do I need
But
to
if
see
you
the-
ever want to watch,
Trequel.
The trequel.
if you ever want to watch a rip-roaring, just good time period piece, The Madness of King George is a delightful movie. All right, that's all I got.
You lost me on that one because I was thinking Anne Bancroft. But you were talking
She
about
did the movie.
right?
And I can't.
That's why I was like, it's still Getty.
And then we got to go two things. I don't think that Torch Song Trilogy ever made it to Broadway. I think Torch Song Trilogy was off Broadway, like Little Shop of Horrors never made it to Broadway.
Okay.
It just got popular and then they just never bothered. But I will look that up and no one will care, but I'll know.
I'm looking right now. It returns to Broadway this season, this thing says.
Yeah, it's there now. It already opened. It's currently playing.
Wait, didn't you say it's never been?
I know.
No. The original.
I've had too much wine.
Oh, got it.
The original, yeah.
Got it. Thank you. I was very confused.
Yeah.
I got very confused about that.
Well, I think that's a wrap on this
Yeah,
one. I think
I
so.
think
We're gonna have our dessert off air once we sign off here. So, by the way, we're having Doug brought us. He was responsible for desserts. He brought cherry and pumpkin pies. So, we're gonna have a little bit of that as we go into our food coma after the show.
Yes.
Love it. Love it. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
Absolutely.
Yes, thanks for being here.
Meow
It was
Cow,
great.
stay warm.
Just so you can plan
Jenny.
ahead.
Annette, send those photos.
Joe.
Just so you can plan
Bernard.
ahead, everybody, don't forget we are not doing shows on Christmas Day, which is the Tuesday, the 25th, and also New Year's Day, which is on a Tuesday. So for those 2 weeks,
What day is that, though?
We will be Tuesdays.
The 30. Is that
She
the 30?
fucking with you.
Is it on an island?
You don't have to see the first two to figure it out. You can just go to the one. You'll pick up the story.
You'll
Trust
get it.
me. You'll get it.
Touche.
You'll pick it right up.
All right.
He's the third of his name because I've been watching Game of Thrones.
Doug, thanks for being with us on this turkey
It was
night.
wonderful.
Thank you.
It was great to be here.
And thank you all in the chat rooms for joining us on this pre-Thanksgiving 2018 Tuesday. And as we wrap up tonight's show, let's leave you with this parting thought. We will see you next Tuesday.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy